I woke up on a burning hot road. The asphalt was so hot it hurt my skin, maybe 40 degrees outside. The last thing I remember was sitting on my couch at home after work, scrolling through videos on my phone. Then everything went black, and I ended up here. I forced myself to stand up. My body was weak from years of office work, and the heat made everything worse. I looked around and saw a straight, 3-lane highway stretching endlessly in both directions. On both sides, nothing but desert. No buildings, no plants, no people. Just yellow sand and wind. One end of the road disappeared into the distance. The other end was covered in thick black fog that rolled and moved like it was alive. It gave me chills just looking at it. Then I noticed a silver bracelet on my left wrist. It wasn't there before, and I couldn't take it off. It lit up and projected a screen in front of my eyes with a message. The global highway race had begun. Everyone on Earth between 16 and 50 was forced to join. Death is permanent. No second chances. The first 24 hours are a beginner period where I'm completely alone. After that, other players show up. The rules said, don't go near the black fog. Don't step off the road into the sand. Supplies can be found along the way. Get moving before dark. I found a beat-up old van parked next to me. My starter vehicle. I got inside and started exploring the bracelet's features. There was a communication channel where I could see messages from other people in my area. Most of them were panicking, screaming, begging to go home. A few were trying to stay calm and figure things out. I checked my personal stats. My physical score was only 8, but my mental score was 13. I had an empty 10-slot inventory and the van with just 5 liters of fuel. Then came the talent draw. Every player gets 1 free random talent, ranging from normal to silver rank. I spun the wheel and got silver, the best possible result. My talent was called Promotion. It could upgrade any item by 1 rank with 100% success, 2 ranks at 20%, or 3 ranks at 0.01%. But it had a 7-day cooldown. A crazy idea hit me. The talent says it works on any item. What if the talent itself counts as an item? Could I use promotion on itself? I was nervous. If it backfired, I might lose the talent or even hurt myself. But the situation was desperate. I decided to risk it. It worked. The system confirmed talents count as special items. I activated it, and the result was beyond anything I expected. It jumped 3 full ranks, all the way to mythical. My new talent was called Rule Break. Rule Break lets me upgrade items 5 times per day. 100% chance for 1 rank up, 30% for 2, 5% for 3. It also has a special ability that guarantees a 3-rank jump once every 72 hours. Nothing can go above mythical rank, and it only works on supplies, equipment, and blueprints. After the excitement faded, I calmed down and faced reality. I was dehydrated, low on energy, had no food or water, and only 5 liters of gas. The beginner period would end in 24 hours, and after that I'd have to deal with other players and the first disaster. I gripped the steering wheel, hit the ignition, and the old van rumbled to life. It was automatic transmission with a push-start button, weirdly fancy for such a wreck. I looked down the endless road ahead and made up my mind. Time to move. I checked my bracelet, 12:20. Time to get moving. I started driving slowly, keeping the speed low. My van maxes out at 60 kilometers per hour, and with only 5 liters of fuel, I couldn't afford to waste a single drop. The road stretched endlessly ahead, black asphalt cutting through yellow desert on both sides. No signs, no other cars, nothing. Just me and the silence. While driving, I kept one hand on the wheel and used the other to browse the bracelet's menus, looking for any useful information. My biggest worry was supplies, water, food, fuel tools. I had nothing. Based on all the survival novels I've read, supplies should appear somewhere along the road, maybe in crates or abandoned vehicles. But after nearly a kilometer, I still hadn't found anything. I checked the regional chat again. People were still panicking. Someone's mom went looking for water and disappeared. Someone's car broke down right after starting. People were begging for help. Mixed in with the chaos, a few messages about talents caught my eye. One person got a normal rank talent called Minor Self-Healing. Barely useful, their cut still bled for a while. Another got bronze rank, physical enhancement, and felt noticeably stronger. Someone else got iron rank, water sensing, that detects water within 50 meters, but it hadn't triggered once. So the talent ranks people could draw were normal, bronze, iron, and silver at best. My talent had jumped from silver all the way to mythical, skipping over unknown ranks in between. What comes after silver? Gold. Legendary? Nobody knew. And is mythical really the ceiling? No answers for now. I also thought about my vehicle. It's labeled Level 1, which means upgrades must exist. Faster speed, better fuel efficiency, maybe special features. But my talent specifically says it only works on supplies, equipment, and blueprints, not vehicles. So I need to find another way to upgrade the van. After driving for a while, I finally spotted something. A dark gray metal box sitting right in the middle of the road, about the size of a suitcase. I slowed down and stopped about 5 meters away. I didn't rush out immediately. I watched from inside the car for a full minute, checking every direction, every mirror. No people, no traps, nothing unusual. Just sand and empty road. I got out, walked over, and touched the box. My bracelet buzzed, and a message appeared. Normal supply box detected. Open. Before opening it, I had an idea. Could I use my talent to upgrade the box first? I tried, but got a rejection message. The box doesn't qualify for talent upgrades. So I just opened it. The box glowed faintly, turned transparent, and dissolved into tiny sparks of light. At the same time, my inventory updated with everything inside. 2 bottles of water, 500 milliliters each. 2 compressed biscuits, 100 g each. 1 pack of beef jerky, 50 g. 1 chocolate bar, 30 g. And 10 liters of gasoline. Enough for about 100 more kilometers. 5 items filled 5 of my 10 inventory slots. The 3 most critical survival needs, water, food, and fuel, were covered in one go. I finally let myself relax, just a little. I got back in the van, leaned against the seat, and closed my eyes for a few seconds. When I opened them again, I felt steadier. This first supply box meant there would be more ahead. But more supplies also meant more unknowns, dangers, traps, maybe other players. I pushed those thoughts aside, pressed the gas gently, and kept driving forward. I kept driving steadily at around 50 kilometers per hour, saving fuel while staying alert. After the first supply box, I felt much calmer. I had water, food, and with the 10 liters of gas added to my original 5, I had about 13 liters left, enough for roughly 130 more kilometers. I didn't bother opening the regional chat again. It was probably still full of people screaming and begging for help. Watching that wouldn't do me any good. Better to focus on the road and look for more supplies. About 20 minutes and another 20 kilometers later, I spotted something on the right side of the road. Another metal box, slightly smaller than the first one, sitting at the base of a sand dune. This one had a faint bronze-colored glow on its surface and more detailed patterns carved into it. I stopped the van, watched from inside for a while, checked every direction. Nothing suspicious. I got out and touched the box. The bracelet buzzed. Bronze supply box detected. Open, bronze rank, 1 level above the normal box I found earlier. I opened it right away. The box dissolved into light just like before, and my inventory updated with new items. A green quality automatic crossbow with 10 bolts, for bottles of mineral sports water, for energy bars, and 2 vacuum-sealed braised eggs. Better stuff than the first box, and more of it. The crossbow was the real prize, my first weapon. The description said it was a basic civilian model, easy to use, moderate power. Then I had an idea. My mythical talent, Rule Break, works on equipment. Could I upgrade this crossbow? I focused my mind and used the talent on it. The bracelet flashed blue, and the crossbow upgraded from green to blue quality. The new description showed an expanded magazine, increased power, heavy damage against large beasts, and 20 bolts instead of 10. A huge improvement. Feeling greedy, I tried using the talent on the same crossbow again to push it even higher. Nothing happened. No response at all. So there's a rule. Each item can only be upgraded once. No stacking. I checked my talent uses for the day, for remaining out of 5, resetting at midnight. Each use could make a big difference, so I decided to save the rest. Unless something urgent came up, I wouldn't waste them on low-value items. Better to wait and see what else I find down the road. The bronze box gave no extra fuel, which was a small disappointment, but my current supply was still fine. I took a sip of water, placed the crossbow on the passenger seat where I could grab it quickly, and got back on the road. With a real weapon and enough supplies to last a while, I finally felt like I had a fighting chance. I got back on the road and started thinking about patterns. The first supply box appeared around 10 kilometers in, right in the middle of the road. The second one showed up 20 kilometers later, on the side near a sand dune. No clear pattern, different distances, different spots. The boxes are about 40 centimeters on each side, not tiny but easy to miss in this heat-warped desert landscape. That's exactly why I refused to open the chat channel again. Any distraction could mean missing a box, and missing a box could mean death. I wondered if supply boxes might also appear deeper in the sand, away from the road. But the bracelet warned us to stay on the highway, and I wasn't about to test what's hiding out there. In this world, playing it safe comes first. It hit me that I'd only been here about an hour, but I was already more exhausted than a full day at the office. Constant alertness, scanning the road, thinking through every decision, it drained me fast. Strangely, though, mixed in with the tiredness was a small thrill. Finding supplies through my own careful thinking felt oddly satisfying. Maybe I've always wanted something like this deep down. I shook that thought off and refocused. About 30 minutes and 20 more kilometers later, I spotted another gray metal box by the left side of the road, a normal rank one, same as the first. Before getting out, I cleared some space in my inventory by moving items to the back seat, since the bracelet storage only holds 10 things. I grabbed my crossbow and went to open it. The contents were basic: a pack of toilet paper, a lemon sports drink, a mini lighter, and 3 metal blocks. Nothing exciting, but the metal blocks caught my attention. The bracelet said they could be used for repairs or crafting later. Could be important down the line. What really worried me was fuel. After 60 kilometers of driving, I was down to about 6 liters, enough for maybe 60 more kilometers. If I didn't find gas soon, the van would die on me. I kept driving for almost another hour, covering 40 more kilometers, reaching about 100 kilometers total. My anxiety was growing. I was seriously considering slowing down to save fuel when something caught my eye, a faint white reflection out in the yellow sand, off the road. It had that same cold metallic shine as the supply boxes. Could it be another box? Or something else entirely? I turned off the engine and stared at it for a while. It was too far to tell what it was. But with my fuel running low and options shrinking, I made a decision. Whatever it was worth checking out. I took a deep breath, grabbed my crossbow, opened the door, and started walking out into the hot sand toward that distant glint of light. Before stepping into the sand, I prepared carefully. I moved all 4 bottles of sports water from the back seat into my bracelet storage. Water was the most important thing to carry. I left the food in the car. No matter what was out there, the van was my lifeline. If anything went wrong, I'd turn back immediately. I stepped off the road into the sand. The moment my feet touched it, burning pain shot through my soles. Walking was brutal. The soft sand grabbed at my feet with every step, like trudging through thick cotton. Each stride took enormous effort. Within minutes, I was drenched in sweat. Out here, there was no breeze like when driving. The heat wrapped around me like a cage. Every breath felt like swallowing fire. The ground temperature had to be over 50 degrees. I walked for about 30 minutes, but covered less than a kilometer. I stopped occasionally to rest against sand dunes and took tiny sips of water, never daring to drink too much. After another 20 minutes, I finally reached the shining object, roughly 1.5 kilometers from the road, but it took me nearly 50 minutes to get there. I was completely soaked, legs heavy as lead, barely able to lift my arms. But when I touched the box and saw the message, the exhaustion faded a little. Iron rank supply box detected. Open. Iron rank, higher than bronze. I opened it immediately. The rewards were worth every painful step. 20 liters of fuel, a lucky pendant, and a vehicle engine. The fuel alone solved my biggest problem. I didn't stop to examine the items. I needed to get back to the van before I collapsed. The return trip was even harder. My legs were screaming, my vision was getting blurry from heat and exhaustion, and I only had 1 bottle of water left. I kept going on pure willpower, taking tiny sips, scanning for danger, putting one foot in front of the other with a single thought in my head: get back to the car. It took me almost an hour to make it back. When I finally reached the van, I practically fell into the driver's seat, completely drained. I couldn't even lift my hands. I sat there gasping for over 10 minutes before I could move again. I drank the last of my water, wiped the sand and sweat off my face, and finally opened my inventory to examine what I'd found, especially that engine. If I could install it on the van, that could change everything. After resting for a while, I started going through the items from the iron rank box one by one. First, the 20 liters of fuel. I added it straight to the tank through the bracelet. With my remaining fuel plus this, I had plenty of gas again. That was a huge relief. Next, the lucky pendant. It was a blue quality vehicle accessory that slightly increases the chance of getting better items from supply boxes. This was a long-term investment. The more boxes I open, the more it pays off. So I decided to use one of my talent charges on it. The result surprised me. Instead of jumping one rank, it jumped two, all the way to gold quality. Now it greatly increases the chance of rare and high-quality drops, and even gives a small chance of avoiding low-level dangers. I installed it right away. A little gourd-shaped pendant appeared next to the dashboard. Then I looked at the vehicle engine. Green quality, and the description said it would add 20 to my speed and reduce fuel use by 20%. This was clearly the most important item. In this world, the van is everything. My shelter, my transport, my survival. I figured the early supply boxes probably give finished products on purpose, since nobody has enough raw materials to craft anything yet. I used another talent charge on the engine. It upgraded to blue quality. Speed boost increased to 40. Fuel savings jumped to 40%, plus better durability and lower breakdown chance. I installed it immediately. My vehicle stats updated. The van's top speed went from 60 to 100 kilometers per hour. A massive improvement. That left me with 2 talent uses remaining for today. I'd used them well. The pendant and the engine were both worth it. I also thought about what I learned from the desert trip. The sand hides higher rank supply boxes, but getting to them is brutal. Extreme heat, exhausting terrain, heavy water consumption. My rule going forward: stick to the road unless I'm desperate for high-level supplies or fuel, and only venture into the sand when it's relatively safe. Steady survival beats risky grabs. I started the van, got back on the highway, and kept driving. With a full tank and a faster engine, I felt more confident than before. I kept my eyes sharp, scanning the road and the sand dunes on both sides, one hand on the wheel, the other never far from the crossbow. It was almost 4 p.m. I decided to pick up speed. The upgraded engine ran smooth and quiet now, nothing like the rattling mess it was before. I pushed harder and covered 100 kilometers in one stretch, finding 4 supply boxes along the way. I didn't waste any time. Stop, touch, open, collect, drive. Each box dissolved in seconds, and everything went straight into my inventory. By the time I opened the last box, it was nearly 6 p.m. The sun was sinking fast, turning into a dark red blur on the horizon. The desert was filling with shadows, and the air was getting cold. Then the bracelet flashed with a global announcement. Nighttime had begun. Visibility would keep dropping, and driving at night meant unknown risks. I wasn't going to push my luck. I stopped the van in the middle of the road, killed the engine, and decided to use the last bit of daylight to sort through everything I'd collected. The 2 normal boxes gave me basic stuff: 6 bottles of water, 4 packs of instant noodles, 2 compressed biscuits, and 3 pieces of cloth. The 2 bronze boxes were much better: 8 more bottles of water, 5 vacuum-packed breads, 3 braised eggs, 12 metal blocks, 4 rubber pieces, 3 plastic pieces, and 10 liters of fuel. The fuel was a relief. It covered what I'd burned getting here. But the real prizes from the bronze boxes were 2 special items. First, a green quality vehicle frame blueprint. It could be used to build a stronger frame for the van, improving durability and weight capacity. The cost: 20 metal blocks, 5 rubber, 5 plastic. I checked my stock. Only 15 metal, 4 rubber, 3 plastic. Not enough yet. I thought about upgrading the blueprint with my talent, but hesitated. If upgrading it also raised the material cost, I'd be worse off. I also wondered, if I upgrade the blueprint now and then craft the item, could I upgrade the finished product again? That would be incredibly powerful. But I couldn't test any of this without enough materials, so I set the blueprint aside for later. Second, a green quality reinforced glass that could replace all the van's broken windows. This one I didn't hesitate on. The van is my shelter, especially at night. Window protection matters. I used my talent on it right away. It upgraded to blue quality. crystallized bulletproof glass. The description said it was extremely strong and tough, and could even block some outside temperature. I installed it immediately. All the old cracked windows dissolved and were replaced with clear, solid glass that fit perfectly. When I touched it, I could feel how thick and hard it was. That used up my third talent charge for the day, leaving me with one. I moved all the water and food to the space behind the driver's seat for easy access. Sitting in the van with the new bulletproof windows, I felt genuinely safer. I looked out at the darkening sky and wondered, were my results good compared to other survivors? Was I just lucky, or was the gold lucky pendant already making a difference? I lay back in the driver's seat, too wired to sleep. The night had come, and the system said staying inside the car was the safest option. No driving, no going outside. My body was exhausted after 6 straight hours of nonstop action, but my mind wouldn't shut off. Since I couldn't move anyway, I decided to use this time to gather information. One small comfort: my parents are both over 50, outside the 16 to 50 age range for this competition. They're safe. I'm alone in this, but at least I don't have to worry about them. I opened the World Channel first. It was a mess. Messages flying by so fast I could barely read them, and over 90% were just people crying for help. After a few minutes, I closed it. Useless. The regional channel was better. Each person can only post 3 messages per day, so there was less spam. Still, with 100,000 people in one region, there was plenty to read. I scrolled through carefully. Some people were begging for water and food. A few hadn't even left their cars all day. They never went looking for supplies. I couldn't believe it. Those people probably still hadn't accepted what was happening. They wouldn't last long. Others were being practical, sharing tips. Drive along the road to find supply boxes, touch them to open, stay inside your car at night. Basic stuff, but helpful for the clueless ones. People were already talking about teaming up after the 24-hour beginner period ends. Some guys were showing off their talents trying to attract female partners. I'm Iron Rank, I'll protect you, free food and drinks. Typical. What interested me most were the talent discussions. Most people had normal rank talents. A few had Iron Rank. Bronze was rare. Nobody mentioned having silver. One person with a bronze rank, mental alert, talent complained it felt useless since nothing had come near them all day. After over an hour of reading, I noticed something important. Not a single person mentioned getting blueprints, reinforced glass, or any special equipment from their boxes. Most people only found basic food, water, and common materials. Even the lucky ones who found bronze boxes only got slightly better versions of the same basic stuff. Nobody mentioned even a single green quality item. That's when it really hit me. My results today were top tier. But I also knew that smart players, like me, would never reveal what they had. I'd been reading the channel for hours without posting a single message. Why show your cards in a survival game? One thing puzzled me though. The trading system was locked, there was no private messaging, and everyone's posts were anonymous, no names attached. Would these features unlock after the 24-hour beginner phase? Or did they need some kind of trigger? No way to know yet. I closed the channel and stared out at the pitch-black night through my new bulletproof windows. I felt calmer now. I had a decent picture of where everyone else stood, and I was clearly ahead. Next steps: keep collecting supplies, gather enough materials to build the vehicle frame, and prepare for whatever disaster was coming after the beginner period ended. By 8:30 p.m., I was completely drained. 6 hours of driving and scavenging plus 2 hours of reading the chat. I wanted to sleep, but then I remembered I still had 2 talent uses left for the day. They'd reset at midnight, so if I didn't use them now, they'd be wasted. I didn't have any good equipment to upgrade, only basic supplies. So I grabbed a bottle of plain water and used my talent on it. It upgraded 1 rank to green quality. The description said it could quickly remove fatigue and slowly restore mental energy for 1 hour. Nice, but using a precious talent charge on water still felt wasteful. I took out another bottle for my last use. This time, luck struck. It jumped 2 ranks straight to blue quality. The water transformed into something called a physical strengthening agent. The description made my heart race. Permanently increases base physical stat by 1 point. No upper limit on how many you can drink, though only 1 bottle of the same quality works per day. Permanent stat increase from a bottle of water. My regret vanished instantly. This mythical talent was insane, and this was only blue quality. What would happen at even higher ranks? I drank it immediately. A warm current spread through my body, a gentle tingling in my limbs, and the exhaustion mostly faded away. I checked my stats. Physical went from 8 to 9. My sore arms and legs actually felt stronger. Just 1 point made a noticeable difference. I thought about using my talent's second ability, the one that forces a 3-rank jump with a 72-hour cooldown, on the vehicle frame blueprint. But the materials weren't ready yet, so upgrading the blueprint now would be pointless. Better to wait for tomorrow and see if I find something more valuable. Either way, I decided I'd definitely use that ability tomorrow no matter what, since the sooner I use it, the sooner the cooldown starts. I adjusted the seat, lay back, and fell asleep. Sometime later, a shaking woke me up. I grabbed the crossbow instantly and checked the time, 12:30 a.m. The darkness outside was absolute. No lights anywhere, not even on the van itself. The only glow came from my bracelet screen. The van kept rocking, sometimes gentle, sometimes harder, with muffled thumping sounds from outside. Something was out there, bumping against my car. My heart was pounding, but I reminded myself of the system rules. This was still the beginner phase. If staying inside the car wasn't safe, hardly anyone would survive the first night. I took a deep breath, gripped the crossbow tight, and pressed my back against the seat, staring into the blackness outside the windows. I wasn't going anywhere. Whatever was out there, it would have to get through bulletproof glass first. I barely slept. The van kept shaking through the night with strange sounds outside, but nothing actually broke through. I sat there half awake, gripping the crossbow, until the sky finally started to lighten. At 6 a.m., the system announced, "Night has ended. Enjoy your journey." I checked the regional chat. People were freaking out about last night. But the real shock was the population counter in the corner. It dropped from 100,000 to 93,632. Over 6,000 people died in one night. Probably the ones who got out of their cars. A harsh reminder that this wasn't a game. Only 6 hours of beginner phase left. After noon, other players would appear. This was my last window of safe development time. I started driving immediately, eating a braised egg while keeping my eyes locked on the road. But for a full hour and 50 kilometers, nothing appeared. No boxes at all. Then finally, a metallic glint in the middle of the road. An iron rank supply box. Inside, a level 1 vehicle upgrade blueprint, a white quality military tactical knife, plus 5 metal blocks, 5 rubber, and 5 plastic. The upgrade blueprint was the big find. It showed the requirements for upgrading my van from level 1 to level 2. A level 2 engine, already installed. Level 2 glass, already installed. Level 2 vehicle frame, not yet. Everything clicked. The engine and bulletproof glass I'd upgraded yesterday were prerequisites for the level 2 vehicle all along. I just needed the frame, and I already had the blueprint for that from yesterday. I checked my materials. With today's haul added to yesterday's stock, I had exactly enough. 20 metal blocks, 5 rubber, 5 plastic. Perfect. I considered upgrading the blueprint with my talent first, but decided against it. Higher quality blueprints probably need more materials, which would stall me. Better to craft first, then upgrade the finished product. I crafted the frame, then immediately hit it with my talent. It jumped 1 rank to blue quality, a high-strength alloy frame with major boosts to defense, durability, and stability. Good enough. I installed it. The entire van transformed before my eyes. Rust, scratches, and dents melted away. The exterior became smooth with clean white paint. Inside, the worn seats became firm and solid, the dashboard tightened up, everything looked brand new. With all 3 components installed, I triggered the level 2 upgrade. The system locked the vehicle in place while a progress bar filled up. When it hit 100%, the result appeared, level 2 standard van. Top speed, 120 kilometers per hour. All 3 blue quality components listed. And a bonus. The system gifted me 50 liters of fuel for reaching level 2. The van didn't look different after the upgrade, but the speed cap jumped to 120, and it could now support advanced components. I was thrilled. I was confident nobody else in the game had reached this point yet. My situation was solid, enough water and food, a weapon, plenty of fuel, a gold-quality luck pendant, and a level 2 vehicle. Now I was getting excited about what came next. If I could find a blue-quality item today and use my talent's 3-rank jump ability on it, I might get something beyond gold quality. I didn't even know what rank came after gold. I could barely wait to find out. I calmed down after the level 2 upgrade and got moving. Only about 4 hours of beginner phase left. A few kilometers out, I found another iron rank box just sitting on the roadside. Last time I nearly killed myself trekking through the desert for one of these, and now here it was, right next to the road. I checked the regional chat. Sure enough, people were saying bronze boxes were showing up more often today. Seemed like the game was increasing drop rates on the second day. I looked at the white quality military knife I'd gotten earlier and decided not to waste a talent charge on it. Even upgraded to green, it'd still be a basic weapon. Better to save my charges for food or vehicle parts that could actually improve my survival. I noticed something about item quality levels. Normal is level 1, green is level 2, blue is level 3. My gold pendant would be level 5, but I had no idea what level 4 looked like, or what came after gold. About 20 kilometers later, I hit a fork in the road. 2 identical 3-lane highways splitting off in different directions. No signs, no markings, nothing to tell them apart. While I sat there wondering which way to go, the gold lucky pendant on my dashboard started glowing. A strong gut feeling hit me. Go right. No logic behind it, just pure instinct from the pendant. I trusted it and turned right. For the next 2 hours and over 100 kilometers, absolutely nothing. Not a single supply box of any kind. I was getting furious at the pendant. My food and water were running low and the beginner phase was ending soon. If I don't find anything by noon, I'm smashing this stupid gourd, I muttered. Then, just as I was about to turn around, a metallic gleam appeared by the roadside. This box was different, bigger, with a silver-white glow and finer details than anything I'd seen before. My bracelet confirmed it, silver rank supply box. Inside I found 4 items. An energy core, blue quality. A vehicle component that replaces fuel entirely, powering a level 2 vehicle for a full day on a single use. A green quality vehicle air conditioning blueprint, needing just 2 metal blocks, 1 plastic and 1 rubber to craft. Plus a case of 12 instant noodle cups and 5 bottles of water. The quantity wasn't huge, but the quality was exactly what I needed. The energy core solved my fuel worries long term, and the AC blueprint would finally fix the unbearable heat inside the van. I looked at the pendant and felt a little guilty for cursing at it. It led me right to the best box I'd found yet. I held the energy core in my hand, a small blue sphere about the size of a billiard ball. The system asked if I wanted to install it, but I said no. I was thinking about using my talent's special ability on it, the 3-rank jump with the 72-hour cooldown. But I still had time before noon. If I found something even better before then, I'd use the ability on that instead. If not, the energy core would be the target. The vehicle is my most important asset, and energy is the vehicle's lifeblood. Whatever I decided, it had to serve the van. First thing I did was check the AC blueprint. Needed 2 metal blocks, 1 plastic, 1 rubber. I had the plastic and rubber, but I'd used up all my metal blocks building the vehicle frame. I needed to find more. I organized my supplies, piling all the food and water onto the flat cargo area in the back of the van. The upgraded level 2 van looked brand new inside, but the rear had no seats, just a bare floor, perfect for storing things. Less than an hour until the beginner phase ended. Every second counted. About 30 minutes later, I found a normal supply box. Inside, 5 metal blocks, a pair of white quality goggles, and a box of chocolate bars. The metal blocks were exactly what I needed. I was starting to seriously believe the gold lucky pendant was influencing what I found. I immediately crafted the AC unit. Green quality, adjustable temperature from 16 to 30 degrees, cooling and fan modes. The downside, 10% more fuel consumption. I thought about upgrading it with my talent, but decided to hold off. A comfort item wasn't worth a precious talent charge when I could use it on something that boosts my actual stats or survival ability. The next 20 minutes gave me nothing. Not a single box. The clock was approaching noon. I stopped the van in the middle of the road and pulled out the energy core, the blue quality sphere from the silver box. This was the moment I'd been saving my talent's second ability for. The 3-rank jump, 72-hour cooldown. The energy core was already blue quality, which is rank 3. 3 ranks higher would push it to rank 6, beyond gold. I focused and activated it. The result nearly made me choke. Blue jumped 3 full ranks to orange quality. The energy core transformed into a vehicle nuclear reactor. Effect, Unlimited stable energy. No more fuel. Ever. I stared at those words. My hands were shaking. All the fuel anxiety, all the careful rationing, all the worry about running dry. Gone in an instant. One item solved the single biggest survival problem on this highway. Orange quality. I didn't even know that rank existed until now. I sat there gripping that faintly glowing orange sphere, heart pounding, trying to process what had just happened. Then the bracelet chimed. The clock hit 12 o'clock. The highway survival has officially begun. The beginner phase was over. The moment the clock hit 12 o'clock, the system announcements rolled in. The beginner phase was over. An extreme heat event had officially started. Temperatures would keep climbing for 7 days until the next phase. New features unlocked. A trading system with 3 trades per day, a friends list with private messaging, and the option to share or hide your personal info. Most importantly, some roads would now overlap with other players' paths, and monsters would start spawning. I was processing all this when I noticed something strange on my bracelet. The clock had been replaced by a red 3-minute countdown, already down to 2 minutes. No time to think. The heat was already brutal at nearly 40 degrees, and if this wasn't even considered the extreme heat phase yet, things were about to get much worse. I pulled out the green quality AC unit and used my talent on it. The 30% chance for a 2-rank jump triggered again. It leaped straight to purple quality. Temperature range of 12 to 32 degrees. Fast heating and cooling, real-time indoor and outdoor temperature display, air purification, with a 15% energy consumption increase. I laughed at that last part. Energy consumption? I had a nuclear reactor with unlimited power. A little AC unit wasn't going to make a dent. I installed it immediately. Cool air flooded the cabin the instant it activated. After a day and a half of sweltering heat, that first wave of cold air was pure bliss. I sealed all the windows and set it to a steady 25 degrees. Then I watched the countdown hit 0. Everything blurred for a split second, like space folding around me. When my vision cleared, the world outside had completely changed. The endless yellow desert was gone. The road was still straight, but now there were dark green bushes lining both sides, with scattered trees in the distance. Still a wide-open landscape, but with actual signs of life. I checked the temperature display. Inside, 25 degrees. Outside, 28 degrees. Only 28? That was cooler than before. But the system said temperatures would keep rising. This comfort was temporary. In a few days, this place would probably become a real hell. I opened the regional chat immediately. New map, new rules, monsters, other players. I needed to know what everyone else was dealing with. I opened the regional chat right away. Messages were flooding in. People asking if anyone was alive, begging for fuel, wondering about the map change. The landscape had shifted for everyone. Desert replaced by scrubland with bushes and scattered trees. Most people were panicking about fuel shortages and the coming monsters. I skipped the chat quickly and went straight to the new trading system. I wanted to see if anyone was selling useful equipment or blueprints. The trading board was disappointing. About 7 out of every 9 listings were just water and food, all asking for fuel in return. Fuel had become the most critical resource for almost everyone, except me. I searched for weapons first. Everything listed was garbage. White quality wooden sticks, rusty iron knives, basic tactical knives identical to mine. Not a single green quality weapon, let alone a gun. It made sense though. Anyone with a good weapon would never trade it. In a real survival situation, weapons are your lifeline. Only useless junk ends up on the market. Then I searched for blueprints. Out of 100,000 people in the region, fewer than 100 blueprints were listed, less than 0.1% drop rate. Most were worthless household items, a wooden table design, a small storage box, things completely useless in a survival scenario. One caught my eye though, a mini fridge blueprint. White quality, cheap materials, but it needed a stable power source and increased fuel consumption by 5%. Other players would skip this because of the energy cost, but with my nuclear reactor, energy was unlimited. I noted it, but kept browsing. Then I found it, a reinforced off-road tire blueprint, green quality. It would upgrade my van's tires to high-strength rubber, slightly improve puncture and wear resistance, and add 10 to speed. The seller wanted 50 liters of fuel. 50 liters was steep. Before the reactor, that would have been everything I had. But now, fuel was just dead weight sitting in my inventory. Trading useless fuel for a tire upgrade was a no-brainer. I messaged the seller offering 20 liters instead and moved on without waiting for a reply. I checked my remaining materials: 3 metal blocks, 3 plastic, 2 rubber. Not much. Food and water were fine for now, but I needed more raw materials. I started driving. The engine hummed smoothly, powered by infinite energy. No fuel gauge to watch, no anxiety about running dry. Meanwhile, I glanced at the temperature display. It had already climbed from 28 to 29 degrees in less than an hour. The extreme heat event had barely started. If it kept rising at this rate over 7 days, temperatures could reach deadly levels. 50 degrees or more would kill people without protection. I closed all the windows, kept the AC at 25 degrees, and headed down the road. For now I was comfortable. But most other survivors had no AC, no unlimited power, and dwindling fuel. The heat alone was going to wipe out a lot of people. I was cruising along, feeling pretty comfortable with my upgraded van and unlimited power, thinking about trading for that mini fridge blueprint to improve my quality of life. Almost forgot this was a death game. For over an hour I found nothing. Not a single supply box. I slowed down from 70 to 50 kilometers per hour, worried I'd been driving too fast and missing them. Finally, around 3 p.m., I spotted a gray metal box under a dead tree about 50 meters off the left side of the road. But there was a problem. A wolf was lying next to it. Not a normal wolf. This thing was bigger than a tiger, with thick gray fur and massive claws. I'm a 30-year-old office worker. I've never killed anything in my life, not even a chicken. This terrified me. My first instinct was to drive closer, but the system immediately warned me. Vehicles cannot leave the road, or there'll be punishment. So driving up to grab the box wasn't an option. Then I remembered my crossbow. Blue quality, heavy damage against large beasts. I could shoot from the car through a cracked window. Even if I missed, the bulletproof glass would keep me safe. I opened a small gap in the window, aimed carefully, and fired. Hit the tree. 5 more shots. All misses. I was losing my mind. I'd never shot anything before in my life. On the 7th try, the bolt finally sank into the wolf's back. Blood sprayed out. The wolf howled and charged straight at my van. It slammed into the doors, claws screeching against the metal, rocking the whole vehicle. I forced myself to stay calm, waited for an opening, and shot again, hit its belly. The wolf kept attacking. Suddenly, it leaped up and swiped at the window gap. Its claw caught my arm, drawing blood. I gritted my teeth through the pain, and when it landed, I aimed for its eye and fired. Direct hit. The wolf screamed, convulsed, and went still. I waited 20 minutes to make sure it was dead, then collapsed in my seat, shaking all over. My heart was pounding so hard I could hear it. The scratch on my arm wasn't deep, but it was bleeding. I'd won. But this fight slapped the complacency right out of me. I'd been getting cocky, smooth upgrades, great loot, unlimited energy. I'd started treating this like a game I was winning easily. That wolf reminded me, I'm just an ordinary guy with no combat skills. One wrong move, and I'd be dead. I got out, grabbed the supply box without opening it, and carried it back to the van. I'd open it later when I felt safer. Then I noticed the wolf's body. When I reached toward it, the bracelet asked if I wanted to decompose it. This really is a game, I muttered and confirmed. I got 80 units of wolf meat, green quality. Eating it slowly restores stamina and mental energy. About 80 pounds of useful food from one terrifying encounter. I sat in the van, looking at the empty field, the blood on my arm, and the meat in my inventory. I made myself a promise: never get careless again. I have to survive, and survive better than anyone else. I sat in the cool air of my van, letting my heartbeat settle after the wolf fight. My arm still stung, but it was time to see what I'd earned. First, the wolf meat, 80 units of green quality food. I remembered how upgrading a plain bottle of water to blue quality had given me a permanent 1 to my physical stat. If I could do the same with the meat, that would be huge. But before that, I turned my attention to the supply box I'd grabbed from under the tree. I wiped off the dust and blood and noticed a silver-white glow along its edges. Silver rank box. My risk had paid off. Inside were 3 items: another blue quality energy core, a green quality handgun called the Shadow Blade pistol with a 15-round magazine, and a white quality all-purpose seasoning powder with 50 uses. The pistol made my breath catch. A real gun. In this world of monsters and desperate survivors, a firearm changes everything. The crossbow was decent but clunky and hard to aim. A handgun meant I could actually defend myself at close range. I'd used 2 talent charges today already, on the vehicle frame and the AC. 3 left. I decided to spend 2 now and save the last one for later. I used my talent on the pistol. The 30% chance for a 2-rank jump triggered again. It leaped from green straight to purple quality. The Shadow Blade became the Phantom Pistol, purple quality, equipped with an advanced silencer, 15-round magazine, and it regenerates 1 bullet per hour. Unlimited ammo. Slowly regenerating, but still, I'd never run out of bullets. Next, I upgraded 1 unit of wolf meat. It jumped 1 rank to blue quality, becoming strengthened wolf meat. The effect: eating 1 unit permanently increases physical stat by 1 point. 1 unit per day, no lifetime cap. I had 80 units. 80 days of 1 physical stat each. My current physical score was only 9, below the average adult baseline of 10. But with this meat, I could push far beyond normal human limits. Unfortunately, the talent only upgrades 1 unit at a time, so I'd need to spend 1 charge per day on meat. A small price. The seasoning powder was a nice bonus too. 50 uses, perfect for cooking the wolf meat. I checked the time. For 20 p.m. I'd been stopped for over an hour. Outside temperature had climbed to 35 degrees, up 7 degrees since entering this area just hours ago. At this rate, the 7-day heat event was going to become truly deadly. I started the engine and got moving. The wound on my arm twinged with every turn of the wheel, but it kept me sharp. This injury was worth every drop of blood. I put the new Phantom pistol on the passenger seat and retired the crossbow to the back. Sorry, old friend. Times have changed, I joked to myself. Having a real gun made everything feel different, more confident, more in control. Over the next couple hours, supply boxes appeared way more frequently than before. In about 20 minutes, I found the first one. A normal box with frozen dumplings, a self-heating rice meal, a 12-pack of cola, and 5 metal blocks. The cola and dumplings nearly made me emotional. 2 days of nothing but compressed biscuits and plain water had killed my taste buds. Finally, real food and a cold drink. I promised myself a proper dinner tonight. Grilled wolf meat with rice and a can of cola. More boxes kept coming. By 5:40 p.m. I'd found 4 in total. All normal rank, all basic supplies, but the steady flow was reassuring. Among everything I collected, 6 electronic components, flour, 12 bottles of water, 3 glass pieces, 10 metal blocks, 5 rubber, and a cooking utensil set. New materials were showing up, glass and electronic components, probably important for future crafting. The cooking set turned out to be literally just pots, bowls, chopsticks, and a fork. Nothing fancy, but at least I could cook the wolf meat now. My inventory was getting tight with only 10 slots, so I pulled all raw materials out of storage. They automatically compressed into small cube-shaped blocks when removed. Some kind of built-in compression technology. Neat. I stacked everything on the back seat and freed up space for future finds. Around 5:40, I started looking for a place to stop for the night. No buildings or safe zones anywhere. Just endless wilderness with bushes and road. I picked a spot with good visibility, parked in the middle of the highway, and shut off the engine, keeping only the AC running. I cracked open a cola. The fizz and the cold hit my throat and washed away the day's exhaustion. Perfect. Temperature check. Inside 24 degrees, outside 40. The sun was setting, but the heat was still climbing. Worrying. Then something strange happened. 6 o'clock passed, then 6:10, and the system never announced nighttime. The sky wasn't going dark like yesterday either. I could still see the road clearly. I checked the regional chat. Everyone was confused. No darkness, no system warning. Some people guessed tonight might be safe. Others thought the beginner phase had handheld us with warnings, and from now on, the game would stop telling us when danger was coming. That second theory felt right to me. The real survival game was probably starting now. Fewer hints, less guidance, more danger. We'd have to figure things out ourselves. With the pistol on the passenger seat and plenty of supplies, I decided to do something I hadn't done since arriving. Cook a real meal. I grabbed my gun, checked the surroundings for monsters, then collected dry branches from the roadside bushes. The outside temperature was 40 degrees and the ground was scorching, but I didn't care. After 2 days of compressed biscuits and plain water, I needed this. I cut the blue-quality wolf meat into chunks with my tactical knife, seasoned it with the all-purpose spice powder, and grilled it over the fire. I also prepared a self-heating rice meal. 30 minutes of sweating in the brutal heat later, I had perfectly grilled meat, crispy outside, tender inside, dripping with juices. I grabbed everything and escaped back into my air-conditioned van like running out of a sauna. Sitting in cool 24-degree comfort, eating hot grilled meat with rice. That contrast made it the best meal of my life. While eating, I checked my messages. The tire blueprint seller had replied. After some negotiation, we settled on 30 liters of fuel instead of my initial offer of 20. He also asked if I'd trade fuel with him again in the future, and I agreed. Building a reliable trading contact could be useful. I got the reinforced off-road tire blueprint, had enough materials to craft it immediately, and used my talent right after. It upgraded one rank to blue quality, heavy-duty blowout-proof off-road tires. Immune to normal punctures and cuts, resistant to small firearms, reduced heat and cold effects, plus 30 to speed. I installed them instantly. My van's top speed jumped to 150 kilometers per hour. The full loadout now looked impressive. Gold lucky pendant, blue engine, blue bulletproof glass, blue alloy frame, blue blowout-proof tires, purple AC, and orange nuclear reactor. Probably meets the requirements for a level 3 upgrade. I just needed the upgrade blueprint. I also bought the mini fridge blueprint from another trader for just 10 liters of fuel. The seller agreed instantly. Nobody else wanted an item that increases energy consumption when everyone's desperate for fuel. But energy meant nothing to me. The fridge blueprint was white quality. I used my talent to upgrade it. Jumped one rank to green, becoming a refrigerated storage blueprint with 10 storage slots for food and drinks, costing 10% more energy. I didn't craft it yet, though. I had a theory I wanted to test. If I upgrade a blueprint first, then craft the item, can I upgrade the finished product again? If yes, that would be incredibly powerful. But I didn't have enough materials right now, so I saved it for later. By 8 p.m. I'd accomplished everything I wanted. I sat back, cleaned my pistol, and waited for nightfall. The sky still wasn't going dark like yesterday, and no system warning had come. Whatever was coming tonight, I was ready, better armed, better fed, and better protected than almost anyone else out there. Night fell, and the road disappeared into total darkness. I could hear things moving in the bushes. I kept my pistol close and opened a regional chat. A friend request popped up from the player who sold me the tire blueprint. Her name was Su Wanwan. I accepted. Having a reliable trading partner was valuable. She thanked me for the trade, and I told her I'd buy more blueprints if she had them. Then she said something that caught my attention. She could consistently find blueprints in her supply boxes. She offered to give me first pick on all her future blueprints if I kept trading her fuel. That was a huge deal. Blueprints were rare. Less than 1 in 1,000 players had them to trade. A steady supply could accelerate my upgrades massively. I agreed right away. Fuel was worthless to me with the nuclear reactor, so trading it for blueprints was pure profit. After chatting briefly, I closed the messages. Cooperation was fine, but I wasn't going to let my guard down around anyone. Trust is earned slowly in a death game. By midnight, nothing had happened. No shaking, no monsters, no sounds. I was starting to wonder if tonight was safe when a frantic private message appeared. Su Wanwan. Monsters were attacking her car. She had no weapons. She was begging for help, offering her next blueprint, pleading desperately. I hesitated. She was a stranger I'd just met through one trade. Risking resources for someone I didn't know went against every survival instinct. But she could provide a steady stream of blueprints, and that green quality tire design she'd sold me was genuinely rare. If she died, that source dried up. I made my decision in seconds. I grabbed the blue quality crossbow, the one I'd retired after getting the pistol, and the 10 remaining bolts, and traded them to her for free. No conditions, no payment. Here's a crossbow. Save your shots and aim carefully, I sent. That was all I could do. The rest was up to her. About 15 minutes later, she messaged back. She'd killed the monster. Barely survived, but she made it. She thanked me over and over, voice messages full of tears and gratitude. I didn't think much of it. The crossbow was collecting dust anyway, and keeping my blueprint supplier alive was a smart investment. After that, the night went quiet. I stayed alert for a while longer, pistol in hand, but eventually drifted off to sleep. When I opened my eyes, daylight had returned. Another night survived. I woke up at 5:40 a.m. feeling surprisingly good. No stiff muscles, no sore back, despite sleeping in a car seat. My body felt light and full of energy, better than any morning back in my old life. The physical stat boost was real. I checked my stats. Physical had climbed from 9 to 10, thanks to last night's strengthened wolf meat. Finally at the baseline for a normal adult male. At this rate, I'd eventually surpass human limits. I stepped outside and inspected the van. Not a scratch. The ground around it was clean. No blood. No claw marks. No sign anything had come near me all night. That was strange. Suwonwon had been attacked. The regional chat was full of people describing monster assaults, and the area population dropped by over 10,000 overnight, from 90,000 to just over 80,000. A nearly 10% death rate in one night. Yet nothing touched my car. I suspected the gold lucky pendant's danger avoidance effect was protecting me, but I couldn't be sure. Either way, I wasn't going to get complacent. The chat was grim. People were desperate for weapons, begging for medicine, mourning friends whose profile icons had gone gray. Someone discovered that green-quality monster meat could heal wounds, which matched my own experience. The scratch on my arm from yesterday had completely healed overnight. In a world with almost no medicine, monster meat was basically a healing potion. Then Suwonwon messaged me. She wanted to return the crossbow I'd given her last night. I thought about it for a few seconds. The crossbow was useless to me, but for her, a regular person with no combat ability, it was the difference between life and death. And if she died, I'd lose my only reliable blueprint source. This wasn't charity. It was an investment. I told her to keep it. She protested, saying it was too valuable to accept for free. So I laid out the terms clearly. The crossbow was my investment in her survival. In exchange, she'd give me first pick on every quality blueprint she found, at fair market price, plus one bonus blueprint of equal value as payment for the weapon. She agreed immediately and promised to contact me first with every blueprint she opened. Smart deal for both sides. She gets protection, I get a steady flow of blueprints. Everyone wins. By 6 a.m., the outside temperature was already 32 degrees. Yesterday, it didn't hit 40 until the afternoon. The heat event was accelerating. I started the engine and got ready to move. Another day of hunting for supplies, and the clock was ticking before this world turned into an oven. By 6 in the morning, the temperature had already hit 35 degrees and was climbing fast. The ground shimmered with heat waves. I was grateful for my purple quality AC keeping the cabin cool. I spent the morning hunting for supply boxes. Found 3, 1 normal, 2 bronze level. Mostly basic supplies, but the real pattern was fuel. Almost every box gave me fuel. 10, then 20, then 10 more. Combined with what I had, that brought me to 40 units of tradable fuel. At the time, I thought it was generous. I didn't realize why. Right around noon, the system dropped a bombshell. Speed race officially begins. All participants will face system-spawned hostile units. Attack strength adjusts dynamically based on vehicle level and player count. Kill hostiles to earn special race treasure chests. The chat exploded with panic. People barely surviving the heat were now being hunted. I understood immediately. The morning fuel drops were preparation. The system wanted us fueled up so we could run. Then I checked my rearview mirror. 5 black motorcycles in a wedge formation, racing toward me at full speed. The riders wore torn leather armor and carried chains, steel pipes, machetes, and Molotov cocktails. Their faces were twisted and empty. Not human, more like puppets built for killing. The Molotov cocktails worried me most. I floored it. At 100 kilometers per hour, I pulled away easily. Their bikes probably maxed out around 60 to 70, matching a level 1 van's speed. But I couldn't run forever. After 2 hours of chase, I decided to fight. I had 15 bullets in my pistol. My shooting accuracy was terrible, but I had to try. I gradually slowed from 100 to 80. The bikes closed in. At around 50 meters, they started hurling Molotov cocktails at my van. The bottles shattered against the blue-quality body panels and did nothing. Good, the armor held. When the first bike pulled alongside me, I steadied my arm, locked the sights on the rider's chest, and fired. One shot. He flew off the bike and tumbled into the bushes. I waited for the next ones to close in. 2 more pulled up. I fired 3 quick shots. 2 bikes crashed and flipped. The last 2 came together. 2 more bullets. 1 bike toppled. The other exploded into a fireball. All 15 rounds spent. All 5 riders down. Speed race cleared. Reward: special race treasure chest ×1. The bikes and bodies vanished. A dark gold chest with intricate patterns sat in the middle of the road. I grabbed it, got back in the car, and opened it. 3 items inside, all significant. A shooting mastery skill book, green quality. A level 1 vehicle upgrade blueprint. A duplicate, but potentially useful for trading. And a talent fragment, iron rank. I sat there catching my breath, hands still shaking slightly from the adrenaline. 15 bullets, 5 kills, 0 wasted. Not bad for an office worker who'd never held a gun before yesterday. I immediately started going through the 3 rewards from the race chest. First, the shooting mastery skill book. Green quality. I used my talent on it, jumped 1 rank to blue. The upgraded version permanently grants advanced shooting techniques, greatly improves accuracy and stability, enhances dynamic visual tracking, and adds basic gun maintenance knowledge. I used it without hesitation. The book dissolved into light and flowed into my mind. Suddenly, I had muscle memory I'd never earned. Grip, breathing, aiming, tracking, recoil control. It felt like I'd trained for years. I raised my hand in a mock pistol grip and my arm was rock steady. I could see tiny details at a distance, pebbles, insects, even predict their movement paths. For the first time, I wasn't just a guy holding a powerful gun. I actually knew how to use it. Second item, a level 1 vehicle upgrade blueprint. Useless to me since I was already level 2. But I had an idea, upgrade it with my talent. The 30% 2 rank jump triggered again. It leaped from level 1 straight to a level 3 upgrade blueprint. The level 3 blueprint showed requirements for upgrading a level 3 vehicle to level 4. Level 3 vehicle, not yet. Level 3 engine, already met thanks to my blue quality engine. Level 3 glass, met. Level 3 frame, met. And a vehicle core, not met. So I had the upgrade blueprint before I even had a level 3 car. I was missing the level 2 to 3 upgrade step and a mysterious vehicle core component. Oddly, neither the level 1 nor level 3 upgrade required tire upgrades. I didn't understand why tires weren't part of the vehicle leveling system, but I moved on. Third item, a talent fragment, iron rank. Collecting 10 of these would let me craft a talent upgrade stone. Could my mythical rank talent be pushed even higher? I didn't know, but gathering these fragments just became a long-term goal. It was 2:30 p.m. The race event was still active. I thought about Su Wanwan. Could she survive this? I messaged her. She replied after 5 nerve-wracking minutes. She was alive, but her challenge was completely different from mine. Instead of motorcycle raiders, her section of road had started collapsing, cracks and sinkholes opening up behind her, forcing her to keep driving at full speed without stopping. Luckily, she'd found a green quality engine earlier and was maintaining 80 kilometers per hour with enough fuel to keep going. Good. My investment was still alive. I told her to message me if anything came up, then closed the chat and leaned back. 3 talent charges used today, 2 remaining. A shooting skill book that transformed me from an amateur to a marksman, a level 3 upgrade blueprint that leapfrogged my progression, and the first piece of a talent upgrade puzzle. Not a bad haul for one fight. I checked the regional chat to see how others were handling the race event. People were dealing with all kinds of attacks, road collapses, black fog chasing them, wild beast monsters. But nobody mentioned human-shaped enemies or motorcycle squads. That confirmed my suspicion. The system scaled difficulty based on vehicle level. My level 2 van was probably the best in the region, so I got the hardest challenge. For the next 2 hours I drove without finding a single supply box. Completely empty road. Strange, but I kept going. Then, near 6 p.m., something appeared on the horizon that I'd never seen before, an actual building. As I got closer, it turned out to be a structure like a bus stop with a metal sign reading, Supply Point, the first system-marked location I'd encountered since arriving in this world. Inside were 2 silver machines, like oversized futuristic vending machines. The left one was labeled Resource Recycling. It converted unwanted items into points. Metal blocks, rubber, fuel, materials, everything had a point value. 1 metal block equaled 1 point. 1 unit of fuel equaled 1 point. Green quality materials were worth 2 points each. The right machine was Resource Shop. It sold everything from basic water and food to blueprints and upgrade materials. The prices caught my eye immediately. Green quality vehicle part blueprints, 50 points each. Level 1 vehicle upgrade blueprint, 100 points. Level 2 vehicle upgrade blueprint, 200 points. The level 2 upgrade blueprint was exactly what I needed to push my van to level 3. I had to get it. I started dumping everything I could afford to lose into the recycling machine. Food, extra supplies, most of my fuel. I kept only essentials. After selling off everything disposable, I hit 165 points. Still 35 points short. I looked at what I had left. My pistol, the fridge blueprint, the tactical knife, an energy core, raw materials, 10 units of wolf meat, cooking supplies, water, and 50 units of fuel. The materials I needed for future crafting. The wolf meat for daily stat boosts. The pistol was my lifeline. I stared at the screen, racking my brain for what else I could sacrifice to reach 200 points. I was 35 points short of the level 2 upgrade blueprint. I looked at the blue quality energy core sitting in my inventory, the spare one from the second silver box. With my nuclear reactor, I'd never need it. I checked its recycling value, 100 points. That would put me at 265 total. Enough for the upgrade blueprint, but not much else. Then I had a better idea. Why not upgrade the energy core with my talent first, then sell the improved version? I used rule break on it. It jumped 1 rank to purple quality. A high energy core that could power a level 2 to 3 vehicle for 7 days straight. Impressive, but useless to me with infinite energy. Recycling value, 500 points. 5 times more than before. Now I had 665 points total. Shopping spree time. I bought everything I needed. The level 2 vehicle upgrade blueprint for 200 points, plus green quality blueprints for a vehicle frame, glass, and engine at 50 each, and another level 1 upgrade blueprint for 100. That cost 450 points. The level 2 upgrade blueprint showed requirements for going from level 2 to level 3. Everything was already met. Engine, glass, frame, except one thing. A vehicle core, same mysterious component, the level 3. 2, 4 upgrade needed. 2 vehicle cores, and I could jump straight from level 2 to level 4. But I had no idea what a vehicle core was, or where to find one. With my remaining 215 points, I stocked up on raw materials. 50 metal blocks, 30 plastic, 20 rubber, 19 electronic components, and 20 glass. These would fuel future crafting. I decided to camp at the supply point overnight. Seemed safer than open road, and maybe other survivors would show up to trade. I had 2 talent uses left. One went to upgrading a unit of wolf meat for tonight's stat boost. The last one I used to test something I'd been curious about. Could I upgrade a blueprint, craft the item, and then upgrade the finished product too? I crafted the refrigerated fridge from the green quality blueprint I'd already upgraded earlier, then used my talent on the finished product. The 30% 2-rank jump triggered. It leaped to purple quality, becoming a smart temperature-controlled storage unit. It had a full 5 square meter interior space, adjustable from -8 to 8 degrees, with 40% energy consumption increase. The test was a success. Upgrading a blueprint and then upgrading the crafted product were treated as separate actions. Both worked. This meant my talent's value was even greater than I thought. I could double dip on every craftable item. I installed the fridge immediately. With nuclear power, the 40% energy cost meant nothing. The fridge installation was interesting. The bracelet projected a 3D model of my van and let me drag the unit to wherever I wanted. I placed it behind the passenger door for balanced weight. From the outside, it looked like a normal silver box taking up half the rear space, but inside it was a full 5 square meters, way bigger than the exterior. I loaded it with my 10 units of green wolf meat, 12 bottles of water, and the seasoning powder. Finally, cold drinks in this heat. I regretted recycling those colas earlier. The bigger realization excited me more. My talent testing proved that upgrading a blueprint and then upgrading the crafted product both work separately. Any green blueprint that reaches me becomes a purple quality finished product minimum. That's a massive advantage. My priority now was finding vehicle cores. 2 of them would let me jump straight to level 4. I searched the trading board. Nothing. Not a single vehicle core listed. I posted in the regional chat asking to buy them, but my message got buried in the noise. The chat was chaotic as usual. Another 8,000 people dead, over 20,000 gone in just 3 days. Some people had found supply points too, but most couldn't afford the level 2 upgrade blueprint with their limited resources. That meant others would start catching up to level 2 soon, and my lead would shrink. I spotted some useful information. Everyone seemed to have encountered a supply point, so the system was giving all survivors a path forward. Good to know, but it also meant more competition. I prepared dinner, grilled wolf meat with cold water from the fridge. Used my talent on another unit of wolf meat, upgrading it to blue quality strengthened meat. Only jumped 1 rank this time. Today I'd used my talent 5 times, for single rank jumps and only 1 double. The 30% and 5% odds weren't being kind to me. I ate the strengthened meat and watched my physical stat climb to 11. Noticeably stronger than yesterday. Slow progress, but steady. I was getting ready to sleep when Suwanwan messaged me. She'd seen my post about vehicle cores and offered to keep an eye on the chat for mentions. Good. I couldn't watch the channel all day while driving. I asked her to monitor it for me. Then, just as I was settling in for the night, a trade notification popped up. Suwanwan had sent me 2 items, a level 1 vehicle upgrade blueprint and a storage space expansion blueprint, green quality. She was already delivering on her promise. Suwanwan sent me 2 items, a level 1 vehicle upgrade blueprint and a storage space expansion blueprint, green quality. I was genuinely surprised. The upgrade blueprint costs 100 points at the supply station for someone still driving a level 1 van. That's their most important item. Yet she sent it to me without hesitation. I checked the storage blueprint. 10 inventory slots, requiring 10 metal blocks and 10 electronic components. Exactly what I needed. My 10-slot inventory had been a constant headache, forcing me to juggle items every time I opened a box. But I couldn't accept the upgrade blueprint. She needed it more than I did. I told her to keep it for herself and only took the storage blueprint as her promised payment. She was grateful and promised to keep sending blueprints my way. Then I asked the question that had been nagging me. How did she keep finding blueprints when they were so incredibly rare? She hesitated before answering. Her talent was silver rank, called Divine Craftsman Scroll. Every day, a supply box randomly appears inside her vehicle, and it always contains a blueprint matching her current stage of the game. That explained everything. A guaranteed daily blueprint. That was an extraordinary talent. In a world where less than 1 in 1,000 players ever see a blueprint, she had a reliable source every single day. I told her the talent was impressive and to stay safe. I wanted to use my talent on the storage blueprint before crafting it. A higher quality version would give more slots. But I'd already used all 5 charges today. It could wait until tomorrow. Then I started thinking strategically about Suwanwan. Her talent probably scaled with her vehicle level. Level 1 van meant green quality blueprints. If she upgraded to level 2, would she start getting blue quality ones? Level 3, purple? Helping her upgrade wasn't just charity. It was an investment in better blueprints for me. I had an even bolder thought. If her talent was tied to vehicle level, what would happen if she abandoned her own van and rode in mine? Would her talent still trigger? And if it did, would the blueprints match my vehicle's level instead of hers? That idea needed testing. But first, I had to build trust and find those vehicle cores. I messaged Suwanwan to ask what she still needed to upgrade to level 2. She only needed a vehicle frame blueprint. She had everything else. I was surprised she'd gathered so much on her own. I offered her my spare frame blueprint, with one condition. Tomorrow's blueprint from her talent goes to me, no matter what quality. She agreed instantly. Shortly after, a private message appeared from a stranger. I have a vehicle core. My heart jumped. I asked what they wanted. Their price, 100 units of fuel and a level 1 upgrade blueprint. Way too steep. After some back and forth, we settled on 50 units of fuel plus the level 1 blueprint. My condition, tell me where the core came from. The answer chilled me. It was a woman. She'd encountered another player at a supply point, a man who tried something, so she killed him. When the system offered to decompose his vehicle, it produced a vehicle core. So vehicle cores come from destroying other players' vehicles. That meant the only reliable source was other people. This game was pushing survivors toward conflict whether they wanted it or not. She also confirmed that players could meet at supply points. The system's promise of encountering others was real. We completed the trade and added each other as friends. Her name was Sue Curson. I told her I'd buy more cores if she found them. 1 core down, 1 to go for level 4. Almost immediately, another person messaged me about a core. But this one wanted far more. A level 1 and level 2 upgrade blueprint plus an AC blueprint. Way too greedy. And the level 2 blueprint was something I needed myself. I told him I didn't have enough resources and I'd contact him later. He got pushy and aggressive, asking if I was messing with him. His tone felt off. Probably not someone I wanted to deal with. I suspected his core also came from killing another player, despite his claim about getting it from a special chest. I ignored his last messages and prepared to rest. What I didn't know was that this refusal had put me on someone's radar. Somewhere out there, a man named Lu Jiqiang was staring at his screen with murder in his eyes, furious that I'd walked away from his deal. In this world, the monsters weren't the only danger. Some of the survivors were worse. All conditions for the level 3 upgrade were met. I hit the button without hesitation. The system told me to step away from the vehicle. I got out and watched from the supply point as a blue glow enveloped the van. 10 minutes later, it was done. A brand new silver gray van stood where the old white one had been. I rushed over to check it out. The interior was a massive improvement. Soft, comfortable seats replaced the basic ones. But the best surprise was lighting. LED ceiling lights and wall lamps built into the doors. After 2 nights of total darkness inside the car, just being able to see at night felt like a luxury. More importantly, I could now spot what was happening outside during nighttime. The dashboard had been replaced by a large touchscreen control panel. When it powered on, a system notification appeared, map function unlocked. Real-time display of terrain, obstacles, and supply boxes within 10 meters. 10 meters wasn't huge, but it meant I'd no longer need to constantly scan the roadside with my eyes. Supply boxes would show up automatically on the screen. A game changer for efficient scavenging. The full stats, level 3 van, top speed 180 kilometers per hour. All my existing equipment carried over. The gold Lucky pendant, blue engine, bulletproof glass, alloy frame, blowout-proof tires, orange nuclear reactor, and purple fridge. The main gains were the speed boost, lighting, and the map feature. I was tired. I reclined the seat and fell asleep. For the second night in a row, nothing attacked me. I slept straight through until 5:30 a.m. The Lucky Pendant's danger avoidance was clearly doing heavy work. But I realized the downside. No monster attacks meant no monster drops, no meat for stat upgrades. I might need to start hunting monsters on purpose. I messaged Sue on want to check on her. She'd successfully upgraded to level 2 and had a quiet night too. Heard some noises, but nothing attacked. Good news. I reminded her to send me whatever blueprint her talent produced today. She was already level 2 now, so there was a chance her daily blueprint would be higher quality than before. My next goal was clear: find the second vehicle core and push to level 4. I set off at dawn. The outside temperature was already 32 degrees and climbing fast. I wondered how many people without AC would survive this. At the supply point, the AC blueprint wasn't cheap. Most survivors probably had to choose between air conditioning and vehicle upgrades. A brutal choice either way. The level 3 map feature made searching much easier. Instead of straining my eyes at the roadside, supply boxes now showed up as yellow dots on the screen. Around 9 a.m., the first yellow dot appeared. A normal supply box in the roadside grass. 5 bottles of water, 3 metal blocks, and a kitchen knife. Basic stuff, but now I knew yellow dots meant supply boxes. By 11:30, a second dot led me to a bronze box. 5 cans of yellow peach, 5 electronic components, for energy drinks, and a green quality tang sword. Both boxes today had given me weapons. The game was clearly pushing everyone to arm up. The temperature outside hit 43 degrees. Just stepping out for 5 minutes left me drenched in sweat. Day 3 of 7, and it was already nearly unbearable. Anyone without air conditioning was in serious trouble. After a short rest, I drove on. Less than a kilometer later, I reached a fork in the road. Right in the middle sat a beaten-up van, the same starter vehicle everyone gets. Its doors were hanging open. No people, no monsters, no movement. I checked the map display. Nothing unusual within 10 meters. I got out carefully and approached. The moment I got close, my bracelet chimed. Ownerless vehicle detected. Decompose. My heart nearly jumped out of my chest. I hit confirm without a second thought. Decomposition complete. Obtained. Vehicle core ×1, the second core. Just like that. Someone had either died or abandoned their vehicle, and I stumbled right onto it. All my searching, trading, and worrying, and the answer was sitting at a random crossroads. The temperature had climbed to 45 degrees. I rushed back to my van, shut the door, and let the cool air wash over me. I had both vehicle cores now. Level 4 was within reach. I didn't expect to get the second core so fast. With both cores in hand, I checked the Level 4 upgrade requirements. Everything was met: Level 3 vehicle, engine, glass, frame, and core. But then the system added a surprise. I needed to feed in raw materials, and the amount would determine the final vehicle quality. Maximum inputs: 50 metal blocks, 30 of everything else. I checked my stock, close but short on glass and rubber. I messaged Su Wanwan first, but she'd just used most of her materials upgrading to level 2. Only scraps left. Then I contacted Su Kurson, the woman who'd sold me the first core. She had what I needed, 7 glass and 3 rubber, in exchange for metal blocks. Deal done. I maxed out every material slot and hit upgrade. Level 4 upgrade in progress. Estimated time, 30 minutes. Please move away from the vehicle. I stepped out into the scorching heat and watched the blue glow wrap around my silver van. When it faded, a completely different vehicle stood in its place. A full-sized RV, 6 meters long, 2.5 wide, 3 meters tall. Silver white with smooth, rounded lines, but a tough look. Like a small mobile house. I walked up to it and couldn't find a door handle. When I touched the door panel, it slid open automatically. Smart recognition. Inside, cold air hit me immediately. The space was incredible. Up front, a huge touchscreen dashboard and 2 rotating captain's chairs with overhead storage. Behind that, a double sofa with a small coffee table, a bathroom, and a compact but fully equipped kitchen with a sink, cabinets, and my purple fridge already integrated. At the very back, a real bed. An actual bed. After 3 nights sleeping upright in a car seat, I almost wanted to cry. The whole thing felt like stepping back into the modern world, minus running water. I checked the stats. Level 4 RV, top speed 200 kilometers per hour. All my existing equipment carried over. The only new feature was a note saying Level 4 vehicles can mount weapon attachments. Honestly, the stat sheet was underwhelming. Just 20 more km/h and the weapon mount option. But the living space upgrade was transformative. A bed, a bathroom, a kitchen, full lighting, panoramic windows with automatic curtains. This wasn't just a vehicle anymore. It was a home. I was still exploring my new RV when the bracelet buzzed with 3 global announcements that everyone could see. First, a player had upgraded to a Level 4 vehicle, unlocking a regional vehicle ranking board showing the top 60,000 players. Second, the survival game was entering Phase 2 with increased danger. Third, the system would receive major updates that players needed to figure out on their own. The ranking board immediately asked if I wanted to hide my name since I was ranked first. I hit hide without thinking twice. Fame in a death game is a target on your back. But I'd been a fraction too late. Plenty of people had already seen my name before I hit it. I looked at the rankings. The gap was absurd. My score, 11,240 points. Second place, someone named Lin Chun, had 141. Third place, Sophia, had 132. The entire top 10 were Level 2 vehicles with scores between 111 and 141. I figured out the scoring system. Orange quality equipment gives 10,000 points, gold gives 1,000, purple gives 100, blue gives 10. My nuclear reactor alone was worth 10,000, the gold lucky pendant added 1,000, and my 2 purple items contributed 200. All my blue equipment made up the rest. Everyone else only had green and blue gear at best. I was an arrow ahead of the competition. Not just ahead, in a completely different league. I didn't check the world chat, but it had apparently exploded. People were calling me a cheater, begging to team up, offering themselves as companions. Some couldn't believe the score gap. A few pointed out the real concern. Phase 2 meant greater danger, and most people were still struggling with the heat. Since I'd never posted in the World channel and had disabled private messages from non-friends after the incident with Liu Jiqiang, nobody could reach me. Even the people who'd caught my name before I hit it had no way to contact me. I was more focused on the system updates. The Phase 2 announcement and the note about weapon attachments for Level 4 vehicles meant I needed to find vehicle-mounted weapons soon. With increased danger coming, having offensive capability on the RV itself would be critical. The comfortable new home was nice, but comfort wouldn't save me in Phase 2. I needed firepower. I glanced at the chat and saw everyone talking about me, the mysterious first-place player. I smiled briefly, then closed it. That abandoned starter van I'd found earlier was a reminder. People were dying every day. Being first meant nothing if I couldn't stay alive. It was almost 3 p.m. I thought back to this morning's supply boxes. Both had contained weapons. A kitchen knife and a green-quality tang sword. I checked the trading board and confirmed my suspicion. Cold weapons were flooding the market now. The system was arming everyone. But still no guns, crossbows, or any ranged weapons. Those remained extremely rare. This worried me. More weapons in circulation meant players would eventually start attacking each other for resources. Monsters weren't the only threat anymore. Human greed would become just as dangerous. I leaned back and did an honest assessment of where I stood. Strengths: Level 4 RV, the only one in the region. Top speed 200 kilometers per hour, unlimited energy. Comfortable living space. Weapon mount capability unlocked. A purple quality pistol with unlimited ammo and real shooting skills to back it up. Weaknesses: 4 of them, all serious. First, the RV is a bigger target. More visible, harder to hide. If monsters or hostile players attacked, I'd be easy to spot. Second, no vehicle-mounted weapons yet. The Level 4 upgrade unlocked weapon slots, but I had nothing to put in them. Third, and this one hit me hard, water. I had 14 bottles left, enough for drinking, but nowhere near enough for everything else. The RV had a full kitchen with a sink, a bathroom with a shower, but none of it worked without a water supply. After 3 days of sweating through 40-plus degree heat, I was covered in dried salt and grime. The idea of a shower was almost painful in how badly I wanted one. Fourth, my personal combat ability was still weak. The shooting skill book helped, but I was still just an office worker with a physical stat of 11. Against serious threats, I needed to keep improving. Vehicle level is fine, but defense, weapons, water, and my own strength, all 4 need work, I told myself. I'd emptied nearly all my resources building the Level 4 RV. Materials were gone, trading stock was low. Phase 2 had just started with promises of greater danger. I couldn't sit around admiring my new home. I got behind the wheel and headed out. Time to find supply boxes and rebuild from scratch. It was 3 p.m. with about 4 hours until dark. I took the left fork at the crossroads and kept driving. The lucky pendant didn't react this time. Maybe both paths were equally fine. 30 minutes later, a yellow dot appeared on my map. Through the window, I could see the supply box half hidden in tall grass, but a bright green snake was coiled right next to it. About half a meter long, triangular head, scales glinting in the sunlight. So now monsters were showing up next to roadside supply boxes. Phase 2 was already changing the rules. I grabbed my pistol, opened a side window, and aimed at the snake's head from about 200 meters away. One shot. Perfect hit. The shooting mastery skill was incredible. My hands didn't shake at all, and the accuracy felt almost supernatural. I went out, decomposed the snake's body, and got 2 units of white-quality snake meat. Basic stuff, only good for restoring a little stamina after cooking. Then I opened the box, dried noodles, fermented tofu, 5 metal blocks, and corn seeds. Seeds. The survival game wanted us to farm? I didn't dwell on it. 40 minutes later, another yellow dot. This time, something much more disturbing was crouching next to the box. A humanoid creature about 1 meter tall, hunched over, with gray-black wrinkled skin like dried bark, stubby but muscular limbs, sharp claws, and blood-red eyes. It looked like a goblin from a fantasy movie. Another headshot. 1 bullet, instant kill. But when I tried to decompose the body, the system refused. Mutant body detected, cannot be decomposed, so not all monsters drop useful materials. The box was iron rank. 8 electronic components, 6 rubber, tomato seeds, and a green-quality bow and arrows. Another ranged weapon, but useless to me with my pistol. It was 5:10 p.m., 45 degrees outside. The 3rd day of the heat event, and the temperature was holding steady at deadly levels. I sat in the driver's seat thinking. Every supply box now had a monster guarding it. Without my gun and shooting skills, I'd have to fight these things up close in 45-degree heat. How many people could survive that? The help requests in the chat never stopped. The population counter kept dropping, but there was nothing I could do for anyone else. Everyone started on the same line. I just got luckier with my talent. This is real, I told myself. I have to make it to the end. For myself and for my parents. I shook off the heavy feelings and decided to treat myself to a proper meal. For the first time, I used the RV's kitchen. No running water, but bottled water worked fine. I boiled noodles with snake meat and seasoning, then grilled a piece of wolf meat on the side. Upgraded to blue quality with my talent first, of course. Still only a 1-rank jump. I was starting to wonder if I'd ever trigger a higher one on meat. Sitting on the sofa at 24 degrees, eating hot noodle soup with grilled meat and fermented tofu while the world outside roasted at 45 degrees. The contrast was surreal. This simple meal did more for my mental state than anything else. The stress and pressure of the past 3 days melted away a little. After cleaning up, my bracelet buzzed. Su Wanwan had sent a trade. A green quality metal armor plate blueprint. A vehicle defense upgrade, exactly what I needed. Her talent had delivered again. She messaged excitedly that she could vaguely sense her talent's pattern and believed a blue quality blueprint would come within a day or two. When I asked if her talent description explained this, she said no. It was just a feeling she had. She also mentioned she was running low on crossbow bolts. Only 3 left, since every supply box now had monsters guarding it. I didn't have spare bolts, but told her I'd send some if I found any. With dinner done and the new blueprint secured, I had 4 talent uses remaining. Time to make them count. I upgraded the Tang's sword, jumped 2 ranks to purple, becoming the armor-piercing Tang blade. It could now ignore part of an enemy's defense. Great melee weapon. The bow also jumped 2 ranks to purple, cloud-piercing bow, with faster arrows and a lock-on effect that auto-corrects aim within 1 meter. Perfect gift for Su Wanwan to replace her dwindling crossbow bolts. The storage space expansion blueprint went up 1 rank to blue. 20 inventory slots instead of 10, but needed 20 metal blocks and 20 electronic components to craft. The metal armor plate blueprint also rose 1 rank to blue, becoming an alloy armor blueprint that could withstand small firearms. It required 50 metal blocks, expensive, but vehicle defense was critical. 2 purple weapons, 2 blue blueprints. For talent charges well spent. I put everything away and sat on the sofa, feeling a bit frustrated. Both weapons had jumped to purple quality, amazing stats, but practically useless to me. The armor-piercing Tang blade was a melee weapon, and I was an office worker, not a swordsman. The cloud-piercing bow had no arrows. Meanwhile, the 2 blueprints I actually needed only jumped 1 rank each, and I didn't have enough materials to craft either one. I pulled out the Tang blade just to look at it. About 1 meter long, dark silver, matte finish, beautiful weapon. Every guy has a martial arts fantasy. But in my hands, it was just decoration. I put it back. By 7:10 p.m. the sky was darkening. I lay down on the bed at the back of the RV, a real bed for the first time. The softness was heavenly after nights of sleeping upright in a car seat. I drifted off quickly. Scratching sounds woke me at 10:31 p.m. Something was outside, claws scraping against the ground. I crept to the driver's seat and peered through the windows. Pitch black, couldn't see a thing. I sat there for an hour, listening. The sounds kept getting closer. I couldn't wait any longer. If they reached the RV, shooting through windows would be nearly impossible at close range. And I wasn't sure the blue quality body panels could withstand a real assault. I flipped on every light, interior and exterior. White beams cut through the darkness, illuminating everything within 10 meters. My blood went cold. About 20 meters ahead, roughly 10 dog-like monsters were gathered in a semicircle. Bigger than normal dogs, patchy fur caked with mud, gray-blue skin, drool hanging from exposed fangs. Their eyes glowed green in the light, all locked on the RV. The moment the lights hit them, the leader snarled, and they all tensed to attack. I didn't hesitate, opened the side window, raised my pistol, and fired. Shot after shot, each one a clean headshot. Within a minute, all 10 were down before they could reach the vehicle. I slumped back, drenched in sweat, breathing hard. Then boom, the whole RV shuddered. Something hit the back of the vehicle. I rushed to the middle section and looked through the glass. A massive version of the same creature, nearly 2 meters tall, was ramming the rear of the RV. I opened a window and emptied my remaining 5 bullets into its head. It finally collapsed. 15 bullets total. All gone. The pistol regenerates 1 per hour, so I was defenseless until morning. I collapsed onto the sofa, completely spent, staring at the ceiling, hoping nothing else was out there. It was almost midnight, the most dangerous hour. My gun was empty, but I needed to check the RV for damage before anything else happened. I pulled out the armor-piercing tang blade, the weapon I'd laughed at hours ago for being useless to an office worker. "Didn't think I'd need you this soon," I muttered. I stepped outside into hot air thick with the smell of blood. 10 dead monsters lay scattered around the front. I walked straight to the rear where the big one had been ramming. The damage made my stomach drop. A deep dent in the hull, paint stripped off, metal warped, claw marks gouged into the surface. A few more minutes of that, and the blue-quality body would have been torn open. And then I'd be dead. I walked over to the giant monster's body to try decomposing it. 2 meters tall, muscular, 5 bullet holes in its head. Clearly dead. I reached down to touch it. Its head snapped up, green eyes blazing with rage. Jaws wide open, fangs lunging straight at my face. It had been playing dead. Pure instinct saved me. I threw myself backward. Its fangs missed my face but raked across my shoulder, tearing through my clothes and deep into the flesh. Blood sprayed everywhere. The pain was blinding. I stumbled back against the RV, nowhere left to run. Blood pouring down my arm, hands shaking, heart slamming against my ribs. The monster rose to its full height, towering over me, growling, eyes locked on me like I was already food. It lunged, massive claws swinging at my head. Something took over, not courage, just survival instinct. I dodged sideways, gripped the tang blade with both hands despite the screaming pain in my shoulder, and drove it upward into the creature's throat with everything I had. The purple-quality blade slid in like the monster was made of paper. The armor-piercing effect wasn't just a label. The creature thrashed violently, claws raking the RV's exterior, shrieking in agony. I held the blade in with all my strength, teeth clenched, blood, mine and the monster's, soaking my entire body. A few seconds later, it went rigid and crashed to the ground. Dead. For real this time. I let go of the blade and slid down the side of the RV to the ground, pressing my hand against my bleeding shoulder, shaking uncontrollably. 1 second slower, and those fangs would have taken my head off. I was slumped against the RV, bleeding badly, shoulder torn open. Then I saw the time, 23:59. 1 minute until midnight when my talent charges would reset. I forced myself up and touched the giant monster's body before time ran out. Leader class body detected. Decompose? Yes. I got 30 units of blue-quality dog meat. No time to examine it. I stumbled back inside and collapsed. The shoulder wound was ugly. Skin torn open, pain shooting through me with every movement. I checked the meat stats. Blue quality, 1 permanent physical stat per unit. Same as the wolf meat. I had 30 units now, which was great, but right now I needed something more. Then midnight struck. My 5 daily talent charges refreshed. Without hesitation, I used one on a unit of the blue dog meat. It jumped 2 ranks. To gold quality. The description nearly stopped my heart. Gold quality dog meat. Effect: permanently increases physical stat by 100. Contains violent and pure life transformation energy. Effectiveness decreases with repeated use, 100 points. In a world where peak human physical stat is 20, 1 piece of meat would give me 100. This wasn't an upgrade. This was evolution. My hands were shaking, not from pain anymore, but from shock. I dragged myself to the kitchen, cooked the meat as fast as I could, and ate it before it was even fully done. The moment I swallowed, warmth flooded my entire body. Then it turned violent. Energy exploded from my core like a volcano, slamming into every cell, every bone, every blood vessel. It felt like being thrown into a furnace while being stabbed by 1,000 needles simultaneously. My shoulder wound stopped bleeding. Right before my eyes, the torn flesh began closing, scabbing over, healing at impossible speed. Strength surged through me in waves. The pain was replaced by an overwhelming, tingling sensation. But the energy was too much, far beyond what my mind could handle. My vision went dark. I hit the floor. The last thing I felt was my body changing in ways no normal human ever could. A faint golden light seeped from my skin as I lay unconscious on the RV floor, transforming in silence while the world outside slept. I woke up on the RV floor at 8:45 a.m. Over 8 hours of the deepest sleep I'd had since entering this world. The first thing I noticed, no pain. My shoulder, the one ripped open by monster fangs just hours ago, was completely healed. Not even a scar. The skin was smooth, tight, and somehow even finer than before. I stood up and went to the bathroom mirror. The person staring back at me was unrecognizable. Gone was the pale, slightly soft office worker with tired eyes. In his place stood someone with a lean, defined physique, muscles visible but not bulky, perfectly proportioned, like an athlete in peak condition. My face had changed too. The fine lines around my eyes had vanished. My skin was clear and bright, my gaze sharp and alert. I looked 10 years younger, like I was 18 or 19 again. This is what 100 physical stat does. Not just stronger, completely reborn. I checked my stats. Physical, 112. Mental, 20. That had jumped to peak human level 2, a bonus I hadn't expected. Plus my shooting mastery skill. I cleaned myself up with a bottle of water. My clothes were destroyed, caked in dried monster blood and my own. After wiping down, all I had left to wear was a pair of shorts. Not glamorous, but at least I was clean. I sat in the driver's seat and thought about what I still needed. First, water. Only 10 bottles left. With no water source, even a superhuman body would eventually fail. 2 days, maybe, before I ran dry completely. Second, close combat training. Last night, I survived the giant monster through pure luck and a sharp blade, not skill. With 112 physical stat, my strength, speed, and reflexes were far beyond human limits. But raw power without technique was wasteful and dangerous. I needed to learn how to fight properly. Third, the alloy armor blueprint. If I'd had armor installed last night, I wouldn't have needed to go outside and nearly die. I had the blue quality blueprint, but needed 50 metal blocks to craft it. Finding materials was urgent. I went outside to check on last night's battlefield, hoping to decompose the 10 smaller monster bodies for materials and trading points. They were gone. Every single one. No corpses, no bloodstains, nothing. The ground was spotless, as if the fight never happened. I was furious. Those bodies could have been worth hundreds of points at a supply station. But there was no use crying over it. The most important reward, the gold meat that transformed my body, was already inside me. I took a deep breath, started the engine, and drove forward. A new day, a new body, and a long list of problems still to solve. I drove for about 20 minutes without finding any supply boxes. The trading board was the same as always, mostly food, water, and basic melee weapons. No blueprints worth buying. Then a message from Sue Curson popped up. Short and direct. I have a team scroll. Help me, and it's yours. I checked the item description immediately. A team scroll is a special item that lets you invite another player to join your team. Once accepted, the other person, along with their vehicle, gets teleported to your location, even across regions. In a world where you can drive for days without seeing another person, that kind of item was priceless. She needed a weapon, preferably ranged. I went through my inventory. The phantom pistol was off limits, my most critical weapon. The armor-piercing tang blade had just saved my life and would be essential for close combat now that my physical stat was 112. That left the cloud-piercing bow, purple quality, auto-correcting aim, but I had no arrows for it. I offered her a choice between the blade and the bow. She picked the bow instantly. She already had arrows. Trade completed. The team scroll appeared in my inventory. Sitting back, I couldn't help thinking about what this scroll meant. The ability to bring someone directly to my side, with their vehicle. One person kept coming to mind. Sue Wanwan. Her talent produced a blueprint every single day. She'd already given me tire blueprints, storage expansion blueprints, armor blueprints. Every one of them exactly what I needed. If she was physically with me, the efficiency would be incredible. No more waiting for trades, no more delayed deliveries. Daily blueprints, fed directly into my upgrade pipeline. But I held back. Trust takes time to build. I didn't know if she'd even want to team up, and I wasn't ready to gamble on someone I'd only known for a few days through text messages. The scroll stayed in my inventory. Not yet, but soon, maybe. My senses were incredible now. Driving along, I could pick up the tiniest movements in distant grass, spot individual pebbles on the road. Everything was sharper, clearer, faster. Half an hour in, a supply box appeared on the roadside with a mutant creature guarding it. Instead of reaching for my gun, I pulled out the armor-piercing tang blade. I stepped out of the RV, shirtless, wearing nothing but shorts, and walked straight toward the monster. When it lunged at me, everything seemed to move in slow motion. I sidestepped casually and swung the blade once. It cut through the creature's neck like slicing tofu. The whole fight took less than 3 seconds. I stood there looking at my hands, then at the two halves of the monster on the ground. This is what 112 physical stat feels like. The creature that would have terrified me 2 days ago was now easier to kill than chopping vegetables. The box gave me 5 bottles of water, 5 glass, and 10 fuel. The mutant body couldn't be decomposed, same as before. I moved on. By 11:30, the outside temperature had hit 46 degrees. Another box appeared, this time guarded by 2 mutants. I got out with the blade again. The first one lunged. I sidestepped and cut it clean in half with one horizontal swing. The second attacked from behind. Without even turning around, I reversed my grip and stabbed backward through its skull. 5 seconds. Both dead. The bronze box contained 10 metal blocks, 5 electronic components, a snack gift pack, and a green-quality vehicle workbench blueprint. The blueprint description was confusing. It added an attack warning system that alerts the bracelet when the vehicle is hit. Seemed pointless since I was almost always inside the vehicle anyway. Maybe useful at night for detecting monster attacks while sleeping. I set it aside without overthinking it. I headed back inside, cracked open a can of chilled peaches and a cold drink from the fridge. Sitting in the cool RV at midday while the world outside broiled at 46 degrees, eating cold fruit. Luxury. I looked at my hands. 3 monsters killed this morning without breaking a sweat. No gun needed, no fear, no struggle. Just clean, effortless power. This feeling of strength belonging to me, truly mine, in my own body, was the best thing I'd experienced since arriving in this world. While driving, I was browsing the trading board when something stopped me cold, a blue-quality vehicle water condenser blueprint. It produces 10 liters of drinkable water per day, installed on any level 2 vehicle. The seller wanted 1,000 units of fuel, an insane price that nobody could afford. But water was my most desperate need. With my talent, I could upgrade the condenser for even more output. Enough for drinking, cooking, maybe even showering. I messaged the seller to negotiate. The reply came instantly and completely surprised me. No need to discuss price. I'll give it to you for free. You're Wu D, the world rank 1 on the vehicle leaderboard, right? If you let us join your team, consider this our entry fee. I froze. How did they know who I was? Turns out, when the rankings first appeared, this person saw my name before I hit it. They also remembered my profile picture from when I'd posted about buying vehicle cores in the regional chat. They put 2 and 2 together. It was a pair of twin sisters, Lin Shi and Lin Yu. They had matching silver rank talents. One called Twin Bond, that could massively boost a teammate's talent effects for 10 minutes, usable 3 times daily. The other called Twin Lotus, that could trigger bonus drops when a teammate opened supply boxes, also 3 times daily. Both talents specifically enhanced a teammate's abilities. Combined with my mythical talent rule break, the potential was staggering. But I was hesitant. I had a team scroll, but I'd been saving it for Su Wanwan. And trusting 2 complete strangers with my life in this world felt reckless. Then Lin Yu sent one more item description that changed everything. Shared fate, a special binding contract. Once bound, any member could teleport others to their side, including vehicles. But the catch was brutal. If any team member dies, all surviving members lose 50% of their base stats. If only one person remains, they lose 99%. The sisters were already bound to it. They were offering to bind me too. It meant they literally couldn't betray me without destroying themselves. With this, you can trust us, Lin Yu wrote. My sister and I just want to survive and find our parents. We wouldn't team up with anyone otherwise. The contract was the ultimate guarantee. Betrayal meant self-destruction. I told them I'd give my answer by tonight and accepted Lin Yu's friend request. I needed time to think this through. The twins' talents were incredible, but adding them meant I couldn't use the team scroll for Su Wanwan. Big decisions needed careful consideration. I stopped the RV and spent 2 full hours thinking this through. The twins' offer was incredible. The water condenser blueprint, 2 silver rank support talents that could boost my abilities, and a binding contract that guaranteed loyalty. But the original, shared fate, contract terrified me. If a teammate died, I'd lose 50% of my stats. If both died, I'd lose 99%. With 112 physical stat, that would reduce me to barely above 1, a death sentence in this world. The real danger wasn't monsters. It was trusting strangers with my survival. One mistake, one moment of panic, one betrayal, and everyone goes down together. But the more I thought about it, the more the benefits outweighed the risks. If I combined the twins' support talents with Su Wanwan's daily blueprints and my own mythical talent, my growth would become unstoppable. Playing it safe forever meant falling behind eventually. In this game, standing still was just a slow death. I made my decision. I messaged Linyu. I'll team up with you. She was thrilled. But I had one condition. The shared fate contract had to be traded to me first. I would be the one to activate it. I needed to verify it was real, and more importantly, I wanted to try something. Linyu handed it over without hesitation, no conditions attached. She didn't even want the Tang blade I'd offered as collateral. The moment I had the contract, I used my talent on it. Rule break triggered a 2-rank jump. Shared fate transformed into life and death together. The upgraded version was completely different. Every negative effect was gone, replaced with pure benefits. Teleportation. Any member can bring teammates and their vehicles to their side once per day, regardless of environment. Team stat bonus. Each additional member increases everyone's base stats by 10%. Death clause, completely reversed. Instead of punishment, if a teammate dies, all surviving members gain 30% more stats for 1 hour. If only one person remains, they get a 100% boost for 1 hour. Maximum team size expanded from 3 to 8. And a new 4th clause, a soul contract that punishes betrayers and protects the faithful, though the exact mechanism wasn't clear. I stared at the screen, stunned. The contract that had been a terrifying chain was now the most powerful team-building tool imaginable. No downside, only upside. The betrayal clause even provided built-in protection against bad faith. This changed everything. I activated the contract and added myself to the team. The moment it registered, me, Lin Shi, Linyu, I could feel my body get stronger. The 10% stat boost per teammate was already working. I messaged Linyu and used the teleport function. A faint shimmer appeared 10 meters from my RV, air rippled, and their level 2 van materialized on the road out of thin air. Before I even stepped out, I heard a bright, excited voice. Wow, we really teleported. The car came too. That was Linyu, the younger twin. Energetic, loud, impossible to miss. I got out of the RV. 2 girls stepped out of their van. My first reaction was genuine surprise. They were 19, identical faces, fair skin, delicate features, but completely different vibes. Linyu had a high ponytail, big sparkling eyes, and radiated pure energy. Lin Shi, the older sister, had long hair falling past her shoulders, quiet and shy, with gentle eyes and a reserved manner. Linyu immediately started teasing me. Wudi, why are you just wearing shorts? So improper, but her eyes were glued to the RV behind me. Let's get inside, it's too hot, I said. They followed me in. The cool air hit them, and Linyu gasped. It's so cool in here. Our van's AC barely works. How is this possible? She bounced around checking everything. The kitchen, the fridge, the bathroom. Sister, there's a shower. We can actually bathe. She was thrilled, but careful not to touch anything without permission. She sat quietly on the sofa, hands on her knees, proper and polite. She hadn't said a word yet. I sat down on the sofa out of habit, forgetting I was shirtless in just shorts, and that I'd landed right next to Linyu. Linyu instantly jumped between us, arms out protectively. Wudi, don't you dare have any weird thoughts about my sister. We have a contract, you know. Linshi's face turned bright red. She tugged Linyu's sleeve and whispered, don't say things like that. I realized how it looked and moved to the driver's seat. Force of habit. Don't worry about it. Linyu relaxed and grinned. Then she got serious. By the way, what happened to that contract item? Our base stats jumped 30% after you joined. And that fourth clause about betrayers and oath keepers. What does it actually mean? That was the question I didn't have an answer to yet. The original contract had punished teammates for dying. The upgraded version rewarded loyalty and punished betrayal, but the exact mechanism was still a mystery. The twins had originally trusted the deal because the old version's harsh penalties made betrayal suicidal. Now that those penalties were gone, replaced by something vague, they had reason to wonder what was keeping everyone honest. Calm down, let's talk this through. And stop calling me Big Shot. Just call me by my name or call me Big Brother, I said. Lin Yu looked at me skeptically. Big Uncle? You don't look that much older than us, though. Lin Shi quietly told her sister to stop being rude, then looked at me with curious eyes. I changed the subject. How have you two stayed so clean? You don't look like you've been surviving in the wilderness at all. It was true. Their clothes were fresh, their faces clean. Meanwhile, I was sitting there in nothing but shorts with messy hair, looking like a caveman. Lin Shi explained calmly. Their talents kept them well supplied with food and water. They'd found extra clothes in supply boxes and just changed when things got dirty. Made sense. Have you run into monsters? I asked. The energy drained from Lin Yu's face. She scooted closer to her sister. Lots of times. The last 2 days we didn't even dare get out of the car to grab supply boxes. Lin Shi added softly, I won't let my sister take that risk. That's why we wanted to team up with you. Then I brought up the real issue, the upgraded contract. Lin Yu's expression went tense. She was playful and loud, but she wasn't stupid. The original contract had clear punishments that prevented betrayal. The new version's fourth clause was vague, and without obvious consequences for bad behavior. They had every reason to feel uneasy. Lin Shi spoke up, composed despite clearly being nervous. What's done is done. We just hope we can work well together going forward. I laid out simple ground rules. I wouldn't force them to do anything extra, wouldn't put them in danger, and would guarantee their safety. In return, when I needed their talents, they had to cooperate without question. All resource decisions would be mine. And if necessary, they might need to abandon their van. My level 4 RV was superior in every way. Got it. We'll listen to everything you say. Lin Yu raised her hand, like making a pledge. Lin Shi handed over the water condenser blueprint, then said politely, we'll head back to our van now. Call us if you need anything. As they left, I could see Lin Yu wanted to protest the terms, but Lin Shi silenced her with a look and pulled her out. Fair deal. They got protection from the strongest player in the region. I got 2 support talents and a daily blueprint pipeline. Trust would come with time. For now, clear rules were enough. I didn't waste time. It was already 3:45 p.m. and 46 degrees outside. I messaged Lin Yu. We're moving. Stay 5 meters behind me. Don't pass. Don't fall behind. We set off in convoy, my RV leading, their van trailing. About 40 minutes later, a supply box appeared on the map with 2 mutant creatures guarding it. I stopped, told the twins to stay in their car, and walked out with the tang blade. The heat didn't bother me anymore. 112 physical stat meant extreme temperatures barely registered. 3 seconds. 2 swings. Both creatures dead. I didn't open the box on the spot. Instead, I carried the whole thing back to the RV. Lin Shi's talent could boost the contents when she opened it. No point wasting that advantage. We kept going. Stop, kill, grab box, drive. Same routine, all afternoon. The twins watched everything from their van. I could only imagine what they were thinking, watching me slice through monsters like they were made of paper. By 6:30 p.m., darkness was setting in. I parked and told them to pull their van right up against my RV's rear, safety in numbers. I'd collected 3 boxes that afternoon, 1 iron rank, 1 bronze, 1 normal. Time to test the twins' talents properly. I invited them into the RV and set the boxes on the coffee table. Lin Yu activated her buff on Lin Shi. Then Lin Shi opened all 3. The results were impressive. Metal blocks times 30, fuel times 50, plastic times 18, rubber times 10, electronic components times 10, 10 kilograms of rice, a dozen eggs, a 12-pack of beer, a carton of cigarettes, and the real prizes, 2 green quality blueprints, a panoramic sensing radar blueprint, and an blast-proof glass blueprint. The raw materials were noticeably more than I'd normally get, but the real difference was the blueprints. 2 blueprints from 3 boxes. My own luck with blueprints had never been that good. Your talents are really useful, I said. Lin Yu beamed proudly, nodding vigorously. Of course, my sister and I are the perfect combo. She wasn't wrong. Between their drop-boosting talents and my upgrade ability, this partnership was already paying off. I was about to throw together some food when she spoke up quietly, face slightly flushed. Could I try cooking? Turns out she used to cook at home all the time. Yu backed her up enthusiastically. My sister's cooking is amazing. You'll never forget it. I stepped aside and let her have the kitchen. She opened the fridge, took stock of the ingredients without commenting on the impossibly large interior space, and got to work. Her movements were practiced and graceful. Clearly someone who'd spent years in a kitchen. She made grilled meat, a big plate of eggs, and a pot of white rice. Simple ingredients, just the all-purpose seasoning powder for flavor, but the result was the best meal I'd had since entering this world. Yu was nearly in tears eating hot rice. Finally, real food. The three of us ate together in the cool RV. A warm, almost normal moment in the middle of an apocalypse. I think cooking duties are yours from now on, I told Lin. She gave a small, shy smile. After dinner, Yu cleaned up, then asked me something with her face turning red. Could we take a shower? 5 days without bathing. I understood completely, but the water condenser wasn't built yet. Sorry, not tonight. Even after I build it, it needs time to collect water. Lin immediately offered their spare materials to help with crafting. She wanted that shower badly too, even if she was quieter about it. I told them to rest for now. I needed Yu's talent buff later, and I had serious planning to do. I sat in the driver's seat and closed my eyes, running through everything in my head. 3 talent charges left for today, plus the second ability had finished its 72-hour cooldown. I had a stack of blueprints to work with, the blue quality storage expansion and alloy armor, already upgraded once, ready to craft and upgrade again, plus 6 green quality blueprints, vehicle glass, engine, workbench, panoramic radar, blast-proof glass, and the blue quality water condenser. And then there was the blue quality beast meat. 1 unit upgraded to gold had given me 100 physical stat. If I used the 3-rank jump ability to push a piece to orange quality, I couldn't even imagine what that would do. Every talent charge had to count. The twins sat silently on the sofa, watching me think, not daring to interrupt. I opened my eyes. Decision made. Time to use my 3 remaining talent charges. I asked Yu to activate her buff on me. Her talent, Twin Bond, would boost my talent's effects for 10 minutes. Had to work fast. First target, the alloy armor. I had exactly 59 metal blocks, just enough to craft the blue quality blueprint. I built it, then immediately upgraded it. Jumped 1 rank to purple, super alloy fortress armor. It could resist standard firearms, impacts, slashing, and explosive shrapnel. I installed it right away. My RV was now a rolling tank. Second, the blast-proof glass blueprint. Green quality. Upgraded 1 rank to blue, blast-proof tempered glass, resistant to blunt force, small firearms, and explosions. Needed 25 glass and 2 metal blocks to craft. I'd build it when materials allowed. 2 upgrades, both only 1 rank. Even with Yu's buff, the 30% 2-rank chance hadn't triggered. I was getting frustrated. Third and final charge, the water condenser. I crafted it from the blue quality blueprint, then used my talent. This time, something incredible happened. 3-rank jump. The 5% probability that I'd started to think was fake, it finally triggered, boosted by Yu's enhancement. Blue quality jumped all the way to orange. Atmospheric water collection unit. I shot up from my seat in shock. 25 talent uses since getting this ability, and this was the very first 3-rank jump on Effect 1. A bit ironic that it landed on a water device instead of a weapon, but the result was extraordinary. The stats: molecular level condensation technology that pulls water from air regardless of weather conditions. Output scales with energy consumption. Comes with built-in purification, water recycling, and 10 cubic meters of storage. Energy cost, 100%. With my nuclear reactor providing unlimited power, that energy cost meant nothing. I had infinite water now. I installed it immediately. The control screen showed a new water production toggle. I turned it on. Continuous output, no restrictions. I turned to the twins with a grin. You can shower soon. The water's coming. Yu jumped up. Really? We can actually shower. She tried to be practical. But a condenser only makes 10 liters a day. Isn't showering wasteful? Don't worry about the water supply, I said. Take as long as you want. They didn't understand how, but the look on my face told them not to question it. Lin Yu's eyes lit up, and she immediately ran back to their van to grab clean clothes, already calling me Big Brother instead of Big Shot. 5 days without a bath. Tonight, all three of us were finally getting clean. While Lin Yu went to grab her things, Lin Shi apologized for her sister's excitable personality. I told her not to worry. As long as they cooperated, they'd get more than they expected. I also shared my theory about the contract. I suspected teammates couldn't harm each other under its terms. That seemed to ease her tension a little. Lin Yu came back, and I sent them both to shower while I sat in the driver's seat to handle some things. Soon the sound of running water filled the RV. After days of dust, sweat, and blood, they deserved this. While waiting, a message arrived from Su Wanwan. She'd found a green quality water condenser blueprint and thought I could use it. I smiled. Already have one. Keep it for yourself. She was surprised, then asked how I'd gotten one so quickly. I deflected and asked about her situation instead. Her answer concerned me. Rising daytime temperatures were making her dizzy, and every supply box now had monsters guarding it. Alone with no combat talent, she was struggling badly. I told her to stay safe and message me if things got critical. I was seriously considering inviting her to join the team, but hadn't made that decision yet. The twins came out looking completely transformed. Clean clothes, damp hair, rosy cheeks, refreshed and bright. Like different people entirely. They thanked me and headed back to their van for the night. Then it was finally my turn. I traded some water bottles on the exchange for a set of clean clothes, then stepped into the shower. Hot water poured over me for the first time in 5 days. Every bit of grime, dried blood, salt, and tension washed away. For a few minutes, I wasn't a survivor in a death game. I was just a person taking a shower, and it was the most peaceful moment I'd had since arriving in this world. Clean clothes, clean body, warm RV, rising water reserves, fortress-grade armor on the hull. I sat in the driver's seat watching the water tank fill on the control screen and felt something I hadn't felt in days, genuine calm. At 9:18 p.m., I was ready for the moment I'd been waiting for. My talent's second ability, the 3-rank jump with the 72-hour cooldown, had finally refreshed. I knew exactly what to use it on. 1 unit of blue-quality dog meat from the leader monster I'd killed last night. Blue quality jumped 3 ranks to orange. The meat transformed into something called Heart of Tai Sui. The description nearly broke my brain. Effect, 1000 physical stat, plus a passive ability called Iron Body. Massively increases physical toughness and resistance. 1000 points. My current physical stat was 112. This would push me past 1100. I couldn't stop myself. The moment I read the stats, I swallowed the entire thing. A warm, gentle energy spread through my body, completely different from the violent explosion of the gold meat. This felt almost peaceful. My awareness lifted out of my body, like watching myself from the outside. I was fully conscious but couldn't control anything. Then my last thought before blacking out. Not again. What if monsters come while I'm unconscious? The twins are right behind me in their van. Everything went dark. I didn't know it at the time, but the twins were lying in their van having a conversation about me. Lin Yu couldn't figure out how I had so much water when a condenser should only make 10 liters a day. Lin Shi guessed it was my talent, but didn't push further. Then Lin Yu raised something more unsettling. She'd noticed they both trusted me unusually quickly, which wasn't like them at all. She suspected the life and death together contract was subtly influencing their emotions. That clause about walking the same path, sharing the same heart. Maybe it wasn't just poetic language. Lin Shi didn't answer. She just lay back and whispered the contract's words to herself. Later, past 11 p.m., monsters appeared in the distance. The RV's lights were still on. I'd passed out before turning them off. The twins could see shadowy creatures moving in the darkness beyond the light's reach. But the monsters never came closer. They circled at a distance, and their growling sounded almost afraid. Something about the RV, or something about what was happening inside it, was keeping them away. I woke up at 4:09 a.m. The transformation was complete. The first thing I noticed was my senses. I could hear the twins breathing softly in their van through closed doors. I could see individual pebbles on the road 100 meters away in near total darkness. I could feel air currents shifting around me. I opened my stats. Physical, 1445. Mental, 26. New passive ability, Iron Body. But there was a warning note. My mental stat was too low to fully control my body's strength. Even so, the power inside me felt world-ending. I couldn't sit still. I stepped outside into the dark and started testing. I crouched and pushed off the ground. The asphalt cracked under my feet, and I shot forward like a bullet, leaving a blurred afterimage. Then I tried jumping. One leap sent me 20 to 30 meters straight up. From that height, I could see the landscape stretching in every direction. I kept going, leaping and sprinting through the darkness, feeling out what this body could do. It was exhilarating, beyond anything I'd ever imagined. I only stopped when dawn started breaking. Went back inside, showered off the dust, and sat in the driver's seat buzzing with energy. I wanted to find a monster just to see what would happen. At this level, I was something beyond human. The twins had been terrified all night. When I called them over in the morning, they told me dozens of monsters had circled the vehicles for hours, growling in the darkness. But none attacked. I realized it wasn't just the lucky pendant. My body had been emitting some kind of aura during the transformation that kept them away. The monsters were afraid of me. At 6 a.m., a new system announcement dropped. Phase 3. Supply boxes would no longer spawn on the road. Instead, shared public zones would appear randomly throughout each region, with better and more plentiful supply boxes inside. These zones meant one thing. Contact with other players was now unavoidable. I gathered the twins and laid down strict rules. In public zones, stay close to me at all times. Don't wander off. Don't make independent decisions. Follow my lead completely. Lin Yu suggested she cook breakfast before we head out. After last night's hot meal, nobody wanted cold rations anymore. Over noodles, I thought about what lay ahead. Energy, infinite. Water, infinite. Physical power, godlike. Vehicle, the best in the world. The only thing missing was mental strength, and maybe answers about what this game's endgame actually was. Phase 3. Public zones. Other players. Things were about to get very different. We set off at 6:50 a.m. About 15 minutes into the drive, Lin Yu messaged me in a frenzy. My ranking score had jumped from 11,240 to 21,340 overnight. A leap of over 10,000 points. The cause was obvious. The purple quality fortress armor and the orange quality atmospheric water unit I'd installed last night. 2 orange items worth 10,000 points each, plus the purple pieces at 100 each. My full vehicle loadout now read like a shopping list from another dimension. Gold lucky pendant, blue engine, blue bulletproof glass, blue alloy frame, blue blowout-proof tires, orange nuclear reactor, purple smart fridge, orange water collector, and purple fortress armor. The chat was going wild about my score. People called it a bug, demanded explanations, couldn't believe anyone could gain that many points in one night. I skimmed through it and closed the channel. Nothing useful. We drove for 3 hours straight. Then, on the horizon, something appeared that made my breath catch. Broken skyscrapers stabbing upward like shattered bones. Collapsed buildings stacked on top of each other. Crumbled overpasses, crushed cars, debris everywhere. A dead city stretching as far as I could see. The system confirmed it. Public zone discovered, rusted waste city. Area, 10,000 square kilometers. A once thriving metropolis destroyed by apocalyptic catastrophe. Contains numerous supply boxes. Warning, large numbers of black fog infected present. Danger and opportunity coexist. 10,000 square kilometers. That's massive, bigger than some countries' cities. And black fog infected was a new enemy type I hadn't encountered before. Seeing ruins in movies is one thing. Standing in front of a real destroyed civilization felt completely different. The silence, the scale of destruction, the weight of what this place used to be, it was chilling. I messaged the twins, stay close. Do not leave my sight for any reason. I parked the RV at the city's edge and looked out at the vast wasteland of rubble and ruin. Somewhere in there were supply boxes, monsters, and other players. The only way to find out what awaited us was to go in. One step at a time. Move out. We're going in. We drove into the ruined city in formation, my RV leading, the twins' van behind. Collapsed buildings towered on both sides, roads cracked and pitted. The deeper we went, the darker it got. Layers of rubble blocked the sunlight until it felt like permanent dusk. I spotted the tallest remaining skyscraper near the city center. If I could get up there, I'd have a view of the entire 10,000 square kilometer zone. That became our destination. But after 20 minutes of driving, I realized the problem. This city was too vast, and supply boxes could be hidden anywhere, inside buildings, in rubble, on upper floors. My vehicle's 10-meter radar was useless here. Driving aimlessly wouldn't find anything. Then I noticed a partially intact building on the right, a ruined supermarket, a few stories tall. Worth checking on foot. I parked, called the twins over, and we prepared to go in. I grabbed my tang blade and gave one instruction. Stay within 1 meter of me at all times. We stepped through the shattered entrance into darkness. The smell hit immediately: mold, dust, rot. Shelves were toppled everywhere, packaging scattered, everything decayed. The deeper we went, the darker it got until we were in near total blackness. The twins grabbed onto my shirt, trembling. "It's so dark," Linyu whispered. "Stay close," I said. My enhanced senses could see perfectly even in pitch black. Every corner, every shadow, every detail was clear to me. Then 3 figures burst from behind collapsed shelves. Human-shaped, but wrong. Gray-black skin, split mouths full of sharp teeth, clawed arms. Black fog infected. They lunged straight at me. The twins froze in terror. 3 flicks of my wrist. 3 heads hit the floor before the bodies even knew they were dead. Black blood pooled on the ground. The whole thing took 1 second. Lin Shi and Lin Yu stood there, mouths open, unable to process what they'd just seen. "Let's go back," I said without looking at the corpses. "Nothing useful here." We walked back into the sunlight. The twins finally exhaled, faces still pale. They'd been certain they were about to die. Instead, they hadn't even had time to be scared. The supermarket was a dead end. No supply boxes, no useful loot. Small buildings weren't worth exploring. I looked up at the massive skyscraper dominating the city center. If the small places have nothing, we go straight to the center. That tower was where the real supplies would be. Back in the RV, I told the twins to eat before we did anything else. Lin Shi cooked us rice, meat, and eggs, simple but filling. After lunch, I sent them back to their van to rest while I figured out our next move. Then I remembered something: the panoramic sensing radar blueprint I'd picked up earlier. The green quality version only scanned 10 meters, which my level 4 vehicle already did. But upgraded, it could be exactly what I needed for exploring this massive city. I called Lin Yu back to buff me with her talent, then went to work. First talent charge. The blueprint jumped 1 rank to blue. Detection range increased to 30 meters. Better, but not enough for a 10,000 square kilometer city. I crafted it, then used my second charge on the finished product. This time, 2 rank jump. Blue to gold quality. Vehicle full domain scanning radar, gold quality. Real-time display of all living creatures and supply boxes within a 1,000 meter radius. Energy consumption 50%, 1,000 meters. A full kilometer in every direction. With this, nothing in the ruined city could hide from me. I installed it immediately. The control screen lit up with a brand new radar interface. Right away, I spotted a yellow dot, a supply box, less than 200 meters away. Surrounding it, about a dozen red dots moving slowly. Black fog infected. I drove straight there. 3 minutes later, we reached a collapsed convenience store. The radar showed the box inside, along with all the infected. I told the twins to stay in the vehicles with doors locked, grabbed my tang blade, and walked in. 7 or 8 infected rushed me the moment I stepped through the ruined entrance. 10 seconds. All dead. I found the supply box under the cash register, picked it up, and walked back to the RV like I'd just gone grocery shopping. Through the van's windows, I could see the twins watching with wide eyes, exhaling with relief when I emerged unharmed. Sitting back in the driver's seat, I looked at the radar screen, yellow and red dots scattered across the display in every direction. 1,000 meters of perfect awareness. This city had no more secrets from me. It was just past 1 p.m. I'd originally planned to head straight for the central skyscraper, but with the gold radar covering a full kilometer in every direction, there was no rush. Better to sweep the city's edges first, collecting supply boxes and learning the layout. 10 minutes into driving, the radar picked up several red dots clustered together about a kilometer ahead. As I got closer, I heard something unexpected through the wind. Human voices, mixed with monster shrieks. Other players. Finally, I pulled up about 30 meters from two level 2 vans parked on the roadside. Both were beaten up, scratched bodywork, shattered windows. The voices were coming from the second floor of a ruined shopping mall nearby. Linyu got excited the moment she saw the vans. Other people. That's their cars. I told the twins to stay in the RV no matter what, then walked toward the mall with my tang blade. I moved silently up the broken staircase to the second floor. Two men were backed into a shop, hiding behind a counter, desperately fighting off 6 black fog infected with a steel pipe and a machete. They were covered in wounds, pale, breathing hard. They wouldn't last much longer. They spotted me and screamed for help. I crossed the distance in a flash. 3 swings, 6 heads hit the floor, done before any of the infected could even turn toward me. The 2 men stood frozen, weapons clattering from their hands, staring at me with their mouths open. They couldn't process what had just happened. "Stop standing there. Follow me downstairs," I said. They snapped out of it and scrambled after me, thanking me repeatedly. "If you hadn't come, we'd be dead for sure." I led them outside to where the vehicles were parked. The twins watched from the RV windows, surprised to see me bringing strangers back. I stopped and faced the 2 men. "Tell me who you are, how you ended up together, and what you know about this ruined city." The 2 men couldn't stop staring at my RV. The shorter one, Wang Hao, blurted out asking where I got such an incredible vehicle. I shut that down immediately. "Not your concern. Answer my questions." The taller one, Li Lei, was smarter. He quickly introduced them both. Former residents of Linhai City, met at a road fork, teamed up to survive. They'd entered the ruined city after this morning's Phase 3 announcement and ran into trouble almost immediately. They had zero information about the city's layout or contents. Then the twins stepped out of the RV. Wang Hao stared and said something about how beautiful they were. Lin Yu frowned and muttered, "So rude," under her breath. Lin Shi pulled her sister's arm to keep her quiet. I got nothing useful from these 2, so I turned to leave. "We're going. Stay safe." Wang Hao panicked. He rushed forward, begging to join us. The city was too dangerous. They couldn't handle the monsters alone. They'd help carry supplies, watch the vehicles, anything. Li Lei backed him up, though he trailed off when he remembered watching me kill 6 infected in under a second. I said no, flatly. "We don't need help. Take care of yourselves." Wang Hao got pushy. "How can you be like that? We're all human. We should stick together. Even someone as strong as you can't handle everything alone." I turned and looked at him. Just looked. One cold stare. He went rigid. Whatever he was about to say died in his throat. Fear replaced the frustration on his face instantly. Li Lei grabbed his friend and apologized repeatedly. I walked back to the RV without another word. The twins followed, and we drove away. These 2 weren't bad people, just desperate and weak. But I couldn't afford to carry dead weight. Every person I added to my group needed to bring real value. Talents, skills, resources. Random survivors with steel pipes and no useful abilities would only slow me down and create risks. In this game, compassion without calculation gets you killed. We spent the afternoon sweeping the city's edge using the radar. By 6 p.m. we'd collected 10 more supply boxes, encountering only scattered infected and no other players. I parked in a relatively open, monster-free area for the night. When the twins came aboard, they were drenched in sweat and clearly suffering. Lin Yu said the heat was unbearable even with their van's AC running. Lin Shi added that from 3 p.m. onward, breathing inside their vehicle had become painful. I checked the outside temperature on the control panel, 50 degrees, and the sun had already set. That wasn't normal. Temperatures should drop after dark, but inside the ruined city, the heat was actually holding steady or climbing. Lin Yu mentioned the regional chat was full of players fleeing the city. The public zone's temperature was significantly higher than outside, and most people couldn't survive it long term. Their vehicles and bodies simply couldn't handle it. I thought it over. The heat didn't affect me at all with my 1,445 physical stat, and my RV's purple AC backed by nuclear power kept the interior perfectly cool. But the twins were normal humans in a basic level 2 van. If temperatures kept rising overnight, they could be in real danger. The decision was simple. You're sleeping in the RV tonight. I'll take the sofa. You 2 take the bed. Lin Yu nearly jumped through the ceiling with excitement. After days of sleeping on hardvan seats, a real bed was like a dream. Lin Shi blushed and hesitated. Wouldn't that be inconvenient for you? but Lin Yu dragged her toward the bedroom before she could protest further. "We're teammates," I said. "It's not a problem." While they explored the bedroom with bright eyes, I turned my attention to the stack of supply boxes waiting to be opened. 10 boxes from today's sweep, plus the one from earlier. With Lin Shi's talent boosting the drops, tonight's haul could be significant. The real question lingered in my mind. Why was the city so much hotter than outside? Was it the ruins trapping heat, or something more sinister built into this zone? And if the temperature kept rising, how long before even my RV systems were tested? I lined up all 11 supply boxes on the sofa. The ruined city was delivering way more boxes than the open road ever did. If the streets weren't so cluttered with debris and collapsed buildings, forcing me to crawl along at low speed, I could have found 4 or 5 times as many. The breakdown: 1 silver, 2 iron, 6 bronze, 2 normal. I had Lin Yu buff her sister, then let Lin Shi open the 3 highest ranked boxes while I handled the rest. My 8 boxes, normal and bronze, gave solid basics: 31 metal blocks, 33 glass, 26 rubber, 15 plastic, 8 electronic components, 110 units of fuel, plus assorted food, bread, water, instant noodles, milk, canned meat, potatoes, tomatoes. Lin Shi's 2 iron boxes produced 30 metal blocks, 18 rubber, 15 electronic components, 40 fuel, flour, and a case of liquor. Then the silver box, the star of the night. Lin Shi opened it, and her eyes lit up. Electronic components times 30, fuel times 100, 10 kilograms of rice, and a blue-quality blueprint. Protective coating design. The coating could be applied to the vehicle surface to boost defense and resist corrosion and impacts. Needed just 5 glass and 5 rubber to craft. Simple materials for a useful upgrade. I sorted everything methodically, raw materials into storage, food into the fridge. Looking at the organized stockpile, I felt more settled than I had in days. Resources were finally building up rather than constantly being spent. Then I asked the twins if they'd used their daily trades yet. They hadn't. I told them to check the trading board for quality of life items. We had plenty of water to trade now, and our living standards needed improving. Lin Yu jumped at the task eagerly. She explained that cooking ingredients were practically worthless on the market because nobody else had kitchens, time to cook, or the ability to make fire in 50-degree heat. Other survivors had been dumping food items for cheap. Perfect for us. We had a fully equipped kitchen, a chef in Lin Shi, and unlimited water and power. I left them to handle the trading and went to the driver's seat to think. 3 talent charges remaining today. 11 boxes worth of new materials and blueprints to work with. Every decision had to maximize the return. I decided to use all 3 talent charges on vehicle upgrades today. My physical stat was already at 1,445, but my mental stat couldn't keep up, so pushing body strength further was pointless for now. Lin Yu had 1 last buff charge. I had her activate it, then worked fast. First, crafted the blue-quality blast-proof glass and upgraded it. Jumped 1 rank to purple. Composite bulletproof crystallized glass. Could withstand medium-caliber gunfire, high-speed shrapnel, and explosions. Installed immediately. The RV's biggest weak point was now armored. Second, upgraded the blue-quality protective coating blueprint. Jumped 1 rank to purple. Anti-corrosion stealth composite coating. It absorbed radar waves, weakened infrared signatures, and reduced detection risk on top of basic defense. But the crafting materials included something I'd never seen. Quantum primal matter times 5. No idea what that was or where to find it. Set it aside for later. Third target was the storage space expansion. I crafted it from the blue blueprint, and it just activated. No physical item appeared. My inventory simply expanded by 20 slots. I sat there confused for a moment. I'd planned to upgrade the finished product, but there was no product to upgrade. With 1 talent charge left and Lin Yu's buff about to expire, I grabbed the green quality engine blueprint from the supply station and upgraded it. Jumped 1 rank to blue. Turbo pulse engine. Speed 50, but 20% more fuel consumption. Better than my current blue engine on paper, but the improvement wasn't dramatic enough to install right now. I'd try upgrading it again tomorrow. Meanwhile, Lin Yu had been busy on the trading board. In a world where nobody had kitchens, cooking ingredients were nearly worthless. She'd been swapping water for all kinds of food and household items at bargain prices. My current vehicle loadout was stacking up impressively. Gold lucky pendant, gold full domain radar, 2 orange items, nuclear reactor and water collector, 3 purple items, glass, fridge, and fortress armor, plus blue engine, frame, and tires. One thing nagged me though. When I replaced the old glass with the new purple version, the system didn't return the old component. All those replaced parts over the past days, just gone. A waste, but not worth stressing over at this point. Lin called me to dinner. She had cooked up a feast with the fresh ingredients. I pushed the minor frustration aside and went to eat. Tomorrow would bring 5 fresh talent charges, and the ruined city still had hundreds of supply boxes waiting. Dinner was simple but warm. Tomato eggs, shredded potato with meat, grilled meat, and rice. Looking at the twins sitting across from me eating quietly, I had a strange moment where it felt like a normal evening back in the real world. She mentioned the fridge was running low on meat. Trading channels had plenty of vegetables and seasonings, but almost no meat available. I realized I'd been sitting on 28 units of blue-quality dog meat in my bracelet storage, completely forgotten in the rush of upgrades and exploration. Lin complained about the 3 trade per day limit. She casually pointed out that without limits, all resources would concentrate in a few people's hands. That offhand comment actually made me pause. She was right, and it explained a core piece of the game's design I'd never considered. I checked the rankings out of curiosity. My score had climbed to 22,430. Second place was at 173. The entire top 10 had reached level 3 vehicles now, but the gap between me and everyone else was still astronomical. I asked the twins their stats. Both started at physical 6, mental 14. With the team contract's 30% boost, they were now at physical 7 and mental 18. Still fragile by any standard. Lin asked what my physical stat was, guessing maybe 20. Called me, like a freak. She scolded her for being rude. I told them both, starting today, each of you eats 1 unit of blue-quality beast meat per day. No exceptions. It permanently increases physical stat by 1 point per unit. She immediately tried to refuse. Too valuable. Save it for yourself. Lin groaned about being too full and hating meat after days of nothing but grilled protein. I can't use it anymore, I said flatly. You're eating it whether you want to or not. I put all 28 remaining units into the fridge. They had until midnight to finish today's portion. She agreed quietly. Lin whined, but her sisters shut her down fast. They'd adjust. Stronger teammates meant safer teammates. And safer teammates meant my blueprint source and talent buffs stayed alive. This wasn't generosity, it was strategy. I lay down in the driver's seat. It was nearly 8 p.m., fully dark outside. Then a quiet worry crept in. Suwon usually messaged me by now. Every evening without fail, she'd check in, share her daily blueprint, ask if I needed anything. Tonight, nothing. Not a single message. I sat in the driver's seat, unable to shake the growing unease. I finally messaged Suwon. Are you safe? Tell me if something's wrong. I can help. While waiting for a reply, I thought about what I'd been putting off. I wanted to invite her to join the team for days. Her daily blueprint talent was too valuable to lose. And now, with the upgraded life and death together contract, the risk was minimal. The contract bound everyone's interests together, and I'd seen firsthand how it built. Trust with the twins. An hour crawled by. Behind me, Shi and Lin were struggling to finish their mandatory portion of blue dog meat, stuffed from dinner. Lin was whining about never wanting to see meat again. Shi patiently encouraged her to keep eating. Then Su Wanwan's message finally arrived, and my stomach dropped. Can you save me? I'm so scared. Monsters everywhere. My van is falling apart. They keep smashing the doors. I can't get out. I don't know how much longer it'll hold. I replied instantly. Do you trust me? If you say yes, I can get you out right now. Her answer came in a heartbeat. I trust you. Whatever it takes, please, just get me out of here. The doors are about to break. No more hesitation. I opened the life and death together contract and added Su Wanwan's name. She accepted immediately. I activated the teleportation. I stepped outside. 10 meters from my RV, a battered level 2 van materialized out of thin air, covered in scratches, windows shattered, doors dented inward, black monster blood smeared across the panels. It had taken a brutal beating. Su Wanwan, I called out. Not loud, but steady. Inside the van, a girl was curled up in the driver's seat, hugging her knees, shaking. When the monster's sounds suddenly vanished and she felt the scorching heat of the ruined city replace the cold terror, she looked up through the broken window and saw me standing there. She burst out of the van, tears streaming down her face, and ran straight into me, sobbing against my chest. I was so scared. I thought I was going to die. She was safe now. My fourth teammate. The blueprint talent I'd been protecting from a distance was finally by my side. Su Wanwan wouldn't let go of me. She was shaking, crying, completely falling apart. I told her to come inside. 50 degrees outside, covered in sweat and monster blood. She couldn't stay out there. She didn't seem to hear me, so I just picked her up and carried her into the RV. Lin Shi and Lin Yu were sitting inside and froze when they saw me walk in holding a sobbing, disheveled girl. Lin Yu blurted out, "Where'd you find this pretty girl?" Lin Shi pulled her sister's arm and asked more tactfully if this was my friend. I just nodded. The RV went quiet except for Su Wanwan's muffled crying. Her clothes were torn, caked with black monster blood and dust. She looked terrible. Lin Shi gently suggested they take her to clean up. She spoke softly to Su Wanwan. "Come wash up. You're safe here." I backed her up. "It's over. Nobody can hurt you now." Su Wanwan finally calmed down enough to let go of me. Lin Yu grabbed her hand and cheerfully pulled her toward the bathroom, chattering about hot showers and clothes. "I have so many outfits. You'd look amazing in a JK uniform with those long legs." While they were in the bathroom, I asked Lin Shi to prepare a portion of the blue-quality meat. Su Wanwan wasn't physically hurt, just terrified. Food and rest would fix that. About an hour later, the bathroom door opened. Lin Yu led Su Wanwan out, and I finally got a proper look at her. She was around the same age as the twins, delicate features, fair skin, and now cleaned up and wearing a school-style pleated skirt Lin Yu had picked out. She looked completely different from the terrified mess I'd carried in. Lin Shi brought over a plate of grilled meat and sat Su Wanwan down on the sofa. "Eat this. It permanently increases your physical stat." Su Wanwan had composed herself. She looked at me with red, swollen eyes and apologized quietly. "Sorry for causing trouble. I was just so scared. Don't worry about it. Eat first, talk later," I said. She nodded and started eating small bites. I thought the crisis was over. Then her shoulders started trembling again. Tears rolled down her cheeks, getting worse by the second. I panicked slightly. "What's wrong?" "You're safe. Nothing's going to happen." Lin Shi rushed to her side. "It's okay. Wu Di is incredibly strong. You don't need to be afraid anymore." Su Wanwan wiped her eyes, voice cracking between sobs. "I'm fine. I'm not scared. I'm just so happy." I had no idea what to say to that. After Su Wanwan finished eating and got some color back in her face, I asked her what happened. She'd been exploring a different public zone alone when 3 male players approached her, suggesting they team up for safety. She agreed. Being solo against monsters was tough. Things went fine at first. They found supply boxes together throughout the afternoon. Around 4 p.m., the heat became unbearable and they decided to leave the city. That's when everything changed. During the resource split, the 3 men turned on her. They said since she was a girl with no combat ability, she deserved less. They took almost everything, leaving her scraps. She was furious but outnumbered 3-1. She swallowed her anger and accepted. Then at 7 p.m., they came knocking on her van door, claiming they needed to discuss something. She sensed danger and refused to open up. They immediately started attacking her vehicle. She fled, and they chased her for about 30 minutes until the growing number of monsters in the area scared them off. But the monsters that had been attracted by the chase surrounded her instead. She stopped, and they began ramming her van endlessly. She was trapped inside, terrified, certain she was going to die, until she saw my message. Lin Yu was livid. "Those guys are disgusting. She found supplies with them, and they robbed her just because she's a girl? Next time we see them, you have to teach them a lesson." Lin Shi brought Su Wanwan warm water and comforted her gently. I told them all not to be surprised. In a world with no rules and no consequences, some people will do anything. This is just the beginning. Once she'd calmed down, Su Wanwan finally noticed her surroundings. The spacious RV, the AC, the kitchen, the fridge. Her eyes went wide. "This is a real RV? I've never seen anyone mention anything like this." She looked at the twins curiously. Lin Yu immediately started teasing. hinting that I'd been hiding my true strength from Su Wanwan. Lin Shi introduced them properly and explained they were all teammates under the same contract. Su Wanwan looked at me with new eyes, gratitude, admiration, relief. Thank you. All of you. Without you, I wouldn't have survived tonight. You're part of the team now, I said. No more thank yous needed. Lin Yu bounced over and grabbed Su Wanwan's arm. That's right. We're all together now. For the first time since I'd known her, Su Wanwan smiled. A real smile. In this brutal world, she wasn't alone anymore. None of us were. I wanted to ask Su Wanwan about today's blueprints, but she was exhausted. It could wait. I told her to rest and had Lin Shi take care of her. The three girls shared the bedroom. Lin Yu was thrilled about the bed, pulling Su Wanwan along while chattering excitedly. I lay down on the sofa and planned tomorrow's route. The ruined city was bigger than expected, and the encounter Su Wanwan described, 3 men turning on her, was just a preview. More players were entering the public zones, and more conflicts were inevitable. The night passed peacefully. No attacks, no disturbances. I woke at 6 a.m. Outside temperature, 40 degrees, lower than yesterday's peak of 50. Strange pattern. Was the city's heat tied to time of day, or was the system controlling exploration windows? I couldn't figure it out, so I let it go. The girls came out of the bedroom before I could knock. Lin Shi started making breakfast, egg and vegetable noodles with ingredients Lin Yu had traded for yesterday. We ate together, 4 bowls of hot noodle soup. Then I brought up what I'd been thinking about for days. Su Wanwan, is your talent connected to your vehicle level? She paused mid-bite. I think it's related to both my talent rank and my vehicle level, but I'm not completely sure. Before I could say more, Lin Yu jumped in. You're thinking about having Su Wanwan ride in your RV, right? I was surprised. How did you know? Obviously. Wanwan and I talked about everything last night. Lin Yu looked smug. Lin, she added calmly. Let Su Wanwan join your vehicle. With her talent triggering on a level 4 RV, the blueprints should be much better quality. I hesitated. My concern was whether her talent would still register her old vehicle level or adapt to mine. Lin Yu looked at me like I was missing something obvious. You can switch vehicles, you know. She just gives up her old one and shares yours. People in the chat have been doing this since public zones opened. Lin Shi confirmed. Players could abandon their vehicles and ride with someone else. It was common knowledge from the regional chat, which I apparently never read carefully enough. With that cleared up, I looked at Su Wanwan. It's your choice. I won't force you. Even if you say no, you're still part of the team. She didn't hesitate for a second. I'll do whatever you say. I never want to be alone out there again. Lin Yu clapped her hands. New roommate. Finally someone to talk to. Just like that, my team was complete. For members, each bringing something essential. My combat power and mythical talent. Lin Yu's talent buff, Lin Shi's drop enhancement, and Su Wanwan's daily blueprint generation, now potentially supercharged by my level 4 vehicle. Time to see what this combination could really do. Su Wanwan suddenly ran out of the RV. Before I could ask why, she came back 2 minutes later, breathless, holding a blue glowing sphere, a vehicle core. She'd decomposed her old van on the spot. I'm all in now, she said, handing it over. I'll do whatever I can to help. I just wish I hadn't used yesterday's blueprints on my own car. Those resources are wasted now. I took the core and told her not to worry. The resources don't matter. You're what matters. I meant her talent was the team's most valuable asset, but from the way all 3 girls reacted, Lin Yu grinning, Lin Shi blushing, Su Wanwan tearing up again, I think they took it differently. I moved on to the temperature problem. Outside was 40 degrees at dawn. If it followed yesterday's pattern, it would climb to 50 or higher by afternoon. Was the system deliberately limiting exploration time? Lin Yu had the answer from the chat. Players were speculating the city center had better supply boxes, and the rising heat was the system's way of making them harder to reach. Higher reward, higher risk. That settled it. We're heading straight for the center today. That tall skyscraper, we're going there. Everyone agreed. We set off in 2 vehicles, Su Wanwan riding in my RV now, the twins following in their van. We repeated yesterday's routine along the way. Radar spots a box. I stop, kill the monsters, grab the box, keep moving. By noon we could finally see the central tower clearly. But then Su Wanwan relayed a message from the twins. The temperature was climbing too fast. The deeper into the city we drove, the hotter it got. I checked the external reading, 50 degrees. and it was only noon. Lin Yu burst into the RV, panicking. Their van's AC was maxed out at the lowest setting, and the interior was still 36 degrees and rising. Lin, she followed, apologizing for slowing me down. "We're a team," I said firmly. "Don't talk like that again." The twins' level 2 van simply couldn't handle this heat. My RV's purple AC and nuclear power kept us comfortable, but their basic vehicle was becoming a death trap. I needed to figure out a solution, and fast, before the afternoon temperatures made the city center completely unreachable for them. I told Linshi to make lunch while I thought it through. Over lunch, everyone was staring at the 50-degree reading on the screen. The twins' van was at its limit. Going deeper into the city meant even higher temperatures. I made the call. The twins would hide their van in an abandoned shop and ride in my RV for the push toward the center. Everyone agreed. They parked and camouflaged their vehicle, then piled into the RV. We drove toward the central skyscraper. The temperature kept climbing, 50, 51, 52 degrees. When we were about 1,000 meters out, the radar lit up like a Christmas tree. Dozens of red dots clustered around the tower, with one prominent yellow dot glowing in the middle. A supply box, right inside the building. Up close, the skyscraper was staggering. Taller than anything I'd ever seen, piercing straight into the sky. Cracked and dusty, but still magnificent. The girls were speechless. Outside temperature, 55 degrees. A normal person would collapse from heat stroke within 30 minutes. I told the three of them to lock themselves in the RV and not come out no matter what they heard. Su Wanwan grabbed my arm, worried. "There are so many monsters. Are you sure you'll be okay alone?" Lin Yu patted her shoulder. "Relax, he's basically inhuman." Lin Shi just looked at me and said quietly, "Be careful. If it's too dangerous, come back." I grabbed the tang blade and stepped into the inferno. The air outside was so hot it shimmered and warped. I didn't feel it. Inside the tower, darkness and the stench of decay. The lobby was crawling with black fog infected, dozens of them. And in the center stood a massive one, about 2 meters tall, with arms thicker than a normal person's thighs. It radiated pressure like a mini-boss. I felt something I hadn't experienced in days, excitement. Every fight lately had been effortless. One swing, enemy dead, move on. Finally, something that might actually make me try. 3 minutes. That's all it took. And I was holding back. If I'd gone all out, it would have been faster. Not one of them landed a hit on me. When the giant infected fell, something appeared beside its body. A supply box unlike any I'd seen before. It glowed gold, covered in intricate carved patterns. I touched it, and the name appeared in my mind. Gift of the Brave. I walked back into the RV with the golden box. Lin Yu rushed over immediately, blurting something about how fast I was, then got flustered trying to explain herself. Lin, she covered her sister's mouth and apologized. Even Su Wanwan couldn't help laughing. The tension in the cabin lifted. I put the Gift of the Brave box on the coffee table, but told them we'd open it tonight in a safe spot. Lin Yu pouted but agreed, then crouched next to the table staring at it like a kid waiting for a birthday present. Lin, she offered to drive, so I could rest. Su Wanwan took radar duty in the passenger seat. I lay down on the sofa and closed my eyes. About an hour later, Su Wanwan spotted 6 red dots on the radar moving in a regular pattern. Probably players, not monsters. Around the same time, a supply box appeared on screen, about 500 meters from those dots. I told Lin Shi to head for the box. Don't avoid them. We don't start trouble, but we don't run from it either. We reached the box first, sitting outside an abandoned convenience store with no monsters nearby. I grabbed it and was heading back when 4 vans pulled up and 6 people got out. 3 men, 3 women, all roughed up and dusty. They stared at my RV like they'd seen a spaceship. One tall, thin guy asked if I was alone and how I got the vehicle. Wanted to team up. 6 people, strong talents, they claimed. A shorter, heavier guy pushed the same angle. Come explore the center with us. It'll be easier together. I declined. Then gave them honest advice. Don't go deeper into the city center. The temperature there is too high. Normal people won't survive. I walked back to the RV and drove away. Behind me, I could sense them clustering together, talking. I knew what they were discussing. They'd figured out the RV might belong to the world's #1 ranked player. Some wanted to follow me. The heavy guy was already scheming about how to negotiate for the RV, as if 6 strangers had any leverage over me. One of the women had the sense to say it was impossible, but the group decided to trail us anyway. People, always the most unpredictable variable in any survival game. The 6 strangers followed us for hours, their dots trailing on the radar. I ignored them. At 5 p.m., the heat finally drove them away. Their red dots turned and raced toward the city exit. Lin Yu sighed with relief. Finally gone. Like a bunch of annoying shadows. By 6 p.m. I decided to stop for the night. Tomorrow we'd retrieve the twins' hidden van, then continue sweeping the outer city. Just as everyone agreed, a flash of light appeared on the coffee table. A pale blue-green chest materialized out of nowhere. Lin Yu jumped back in surprise. Su Wanwan blushed and explained. Her talent had triggered. This was her daily blueprint box. The fact that it spawned inside my level 4 RV was exactly what I'd hoped for. Her talent was now linked to my vehicle. Lin Shi parked us in a hidden corner near a ruined office building, then cooked dinner. Afterward, I laid out the full day's haul on the table. 1. Gift of the Brave box, 2 silver boxes, 8 iron boxes, 15 bronze boxes, and 3 normal boxes. Plus, Su Wanwan's talent chest. I tried to touch her talent box first, but it pushed my hand away with an invisible force. Only Su Wanwan could open it. I had Lin Yu try her buff on Su Wanwan before opening, but it didn't work either. The talent chest was only affected by Su Wanwan's own talent level and vehicle level, not external buffs. She opened it. A blue-quality protective coating blueprint. Su Wanwan's face lit up, then fell when she saw our muted reactions. We already had that exact blueprint. Lin Yu rushed to reassure her it wasn't her fault. Lin Shi comforted her gently. I told her duplicates still had trade value. She handed me the blueprint, still looking a bit down. But the important discovery was confirmed. Her talent was now generating blueprints at blue quality or higher, matching the level 4 RV. Before, on her level 2 van, she'd only produced green blueprints. The upgrade worked exactly as I'd theorized. Tomorrow's blueprint could be something entirely new. And with the massive stack of unopened boxes sitting on the table, including that golden gift of the brave, tonight's real opening session was just getting started. I didn't waste time. I pulled all the boxes except the 2 silver ones and the golden gift of the brave toward me and opened them myself. 26 boxes total. The results were underwhelming. Tons of basic materials, 60 fuel, 86 metal blocks, 32 plastic, 36 rubber, 48 glass, 16 electronic components, plus various food and daily supplies. Not a single blueprint. Not even one low-level piece of equipment. Lin Yu didn't hold back. Your luck is terrible. All those boxes and nothing good. Let me open them next time. Su Wanwan quickly defended me. Actually, that's really good. When I open boxes, I usually get 2 to 3 items each. Wu Di averages 3 to 4 per box. That's way above normal. That caught me off guard. I'd never compared my results to anyone else's. I'd always assumed everyone got similar drops. Hearing this, I finally realized how much the gold lucky pendant had been doing for me all along, silently boosting every single box I'd opened since day 1. I'd taken it completely for granted. 3 boxes remained, 2 silver and the gift of the brave. All eyes turned to Lin Shi. Your turn, I said. She looked nervous. Her talent only had a probability of boosting drops, not a guarantee. She didn't want to disappoint everyone. Lin Yu grabbed her hand and activated the buff. Su Wanwan and I both told her to relax. Whatever came out was a bonus. She opened the 2 silver boxes first. Metal blocks, electronic components, 100 fuel, plus 2 notable items, an energy core, blue quality, and something called a spirit essence seed. The seed's description made everyone lean in. A special crop seed containing gentle life energy. The fruit it produces tastes sweet and permanently increases physical stat when eaten. No side effects. Requires an environment with life energy to grow. Matures in 72 hours. Su Wanwan was amazed. I thought only monster meat could increase stats. I praised the find to keep Lin Shi's confidence up, though honestly, for me personally, a blueprint would have been more useful. Still, a renewable source of stat-boosting fruit was valuable for the whole team. Lin Shi relaxed, smiling now. She handed me the seed and turned toward the last box, the golden one. The gift of the brave. The boss dropped from the central tower. Everyone held their breath. Lin Shi reached out and touched it. The golden chest opened. Lin Yu shoved her way into C, but Lin she looked at me first, waiting for my nod before showing everyone. For items, every single one was exceptional. A genetic optimization fluid, a one-time use special item that permanently adds 20 physical stat points. A vehicle part selection voucher letting me choose one of 3 blue quality components, a turbo pulse engine, blast-proof tempered glass, or full coverage frame. A purple quality M249 light machine gun with 2,000 rounds, an actual vehicle-mounted weapon, the first I'd ever seen. And a talent fragment at silver rank, needing 10 to forge a silver-grade talent upgrade stone. Lin Yu nearly screamed. She'd only ever heard about purple quality items in chat, never seen one. Su Wanwan was equally stunned, especially by the talent fragment, which was apparently a hot commodity that everyone was hunting for. I praised Lin Shi's contribution. Her talent combined with Lin Yu's buff had clearly elevated the drops far beyond what I'd get alone. Lin Shi blushed and handed everything to me, trusting my judgment on how to use it all. I sent Lin Shi and Su Wanwan to rest, but asked Lin Yu to stay for her buff. Then I sat down and planned out my 5 talent charges for the day. First priority, the M249 machine gun. My first vehicle-mounted weapon. Upgrading it could make the RV a mobile fortress. Second, the turbo pulse engine blueprint from yesterday. Already at blue quality, I craft it and upgrade the finished product. Third, the selection voucher. I'd pick the full coverage frame to shore up the RV's structural defense, leaving only the tires as the last blue quality weak point. Fourth and fifth, the green quality vehicle workbench blueprint I'd been holding since Chapter 40. Unknown potential, but I had a feeling it would be significant after upgrading. Plan set. I looked at Lin Yu waiting patiently beside me. Ready when you are. Lin Yu activated her buff, and I went to work. First, the M249 machine gun. My talent triggered a 2-rank jump, purple straight to orange. The light machine gun transformed into a 30mm chain gun autocannon. A panel on the RV's roof slid open and a retractable metal mount rose into position. The stats were insane. Fires armor-piercing incendiary rounds and high-explosive grenades, 120-round ammo box, 60 of each type, remote or manual operation. Effective range up to 2,500 meters on ground targets and 3,000 meters against air targets. Maximum range 10,000 meters. Ammo resets daily at midnight. The system's flavor text read, "Caliber is justice. Firepower is confidence. Truth exists only within cannon range. Speed penalty of -20 and 100% energy consumption." With my nuclear reactor, the energy cost was meaningless. Lin Yu's jaw hit the floor when she saw the weapon emerge from the roof. Everyone stared. I just said, vehicle weapon. Don't worry about it. Second, crafted the turbo pulse engine and upgraded it. Jumped 1 rank to purple. Turbo pulse supercharged engine. Speed 60, massive power boost for hills and rough terrain. Installed. Third, selected the full coverage frame from the voucher and upgraded it. 1 rank to purple. Heavy armor core frame. Resists high-speed collisions and medium explosions. Installed. The cabin walls darkened slightly with the reinforcement. Fourth and fifth, both charges on the vehicle workbench. First use upgraded the green blueprint to blue. I crafted it, then used the final charge on the finished product. 2-rank jump, blue to gold. It became a smart command hub. The hub integrated 4 core systems, autonomous driving, full vehicle status monitoring, complete device management, and weapons system coordination. My RV now had a brain. 2 double-rank jumps in 1 day. I could barely contain myself. The machine gun and the command hub alone transformed the RV from a mobile home into a genuine war machine. I checked the vehicle panel. Top speed, 240 kilometers per hour. The equipment list now included 3 orange items, 2 gold items, 5 purple items, and 1 blue. My ranking score had jumped from 22,430 to 33,610. The chat was definitely going to explode again, but I didn't care. I was looking at a vehicle that could outrun, outshoot, and outlast anything in this world.